Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to yet another live stream by the channel, the Muslim Apologist, and I'm your host, MENJ. Yes, I'm back. Yes, thank you very much for waiting for me. I know that the time was a bit late by about 15 minutes. I'm very sorry about that because I was sending my friend away half across town to the nearest MRT station. This morning, I actually hosted a debate here, a close debate, by the way. I was the moderator. Now, he used my friend Smith Charles. He was using my studio as the place to host the debate. So um, that was around 10 a.m. Malaysian time. And later we went for lunch. And by the time we finished lunch, it was around 1:30. And then I had to send him across town to the nearest MRT station. So by the time I wanted to come back here, it was around 2. So imagine with the current traffic conditions that I had to face just now, I was rushing back to meet the deadline, but unfortunately I couldn't make it because of the traffic. Oh, the traffic was horrible. You know, downtown KL traffic is really horrible. Give me a moment while I catch my breath and I drink this, all right? It was very good. It's very good to take a swig at this. Okay, let me adjust this. Yeah, I think you can see me properly now. The setup has somewhat changed here because the mic now, instead of facing me, is now above me. Okay, I hope my voice is loud and clear, by the way. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please say so. If it's loud and clear and without any disturbances or any interruptions, let me know. Right? Give me a moment while I forward this live stream to the groups that I have joined, because there are some groups which I haven't alerted yet about this live stream. Okay, so yeah, I know this says I can only forward to one group at a time. Don't ask me why. Guess there's rules from that's the rules now from WhatsApp. Okay, so yeah, I've already forwarded to most of the people. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much again for coming on. Okay, right. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi Akta Hasutan 1948, huh? Ya, memang akta tu sebenarnya mundur dan ke terbelakang lah. Dia ada sebuah akta yang sangat kolot daripada zaman British yang sebenarnya digunakan untuk melawan komunis, tapi faham sendirilah apa ni kerajaan sekarang buat lah dengan undang-undang bodoh tu kan. Okay. So loud and clear. Thank you, Aki. Thank you. Alright. Waalaikumsalam. Okay. Please, brother Dav Zaim, I hope you can, check out if the stream is working, because remember the last time I did the live stream, it was hanging, right? So I hope it's working now. Oh, brother Sydney Football's here. Okay. Waalaikumsalam. Yes, brother Sydney Football. Yeah. Okay, how it's going? Yeah, it's all going well and fine, alhamdulillah, right? At least for me, right? I spent the last 2 nights watching your debates against Godless Girl and Tree Jump. Okay, I hope you found them at the very least entertaining, right? Okay, I think Sister Nini is here, right? So let me add her. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yes, yeah. You can hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, brother MENJ.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, let's wait for some people to come on, right? If they are willing to come on. I'm seeing some comments here. Okay. Dav Zaim, I'll try to jump on StreamYard again if the stream crashed. Aki, you can jump on even if the stream doesn't crash, all right? Okay, it'll be great to have you, all right? So yeah, we have 5 people right now watching the live stream. Amazing, isn't it?
Mashallah.
By the way, Sister Nini, you know, last week when we had a conversation, it didn't get recorded on the live stream on YouTube. I think the crash happened before that.
Yes, I am
unfortunately,
aware.
all the conversation that we had prior, we had on that, just wasn't recorded. Okay, on live stream, unfortunately. Okay. So okay, I think Brother Smith just messaged me saying that he will join in 20 minutes. Okay, yeah, he just reached home. Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting for any Christian or non-Muslims, regardless whether they're Christians or not, to come onto the live stream and ask their questions. Okay, so the format is very simple. You come here, you be civil, you be polite, you give some respect, and we will give due respect to you, and we will answer your questions or inquiries or allegations or statements about Islam. It's really that simple. The format is this simple. Okay, but if you are rude or condescending, or you want to preach, then I'm sorry, this is not the place for you. Okay, I have to lay the rules, the ground rules here, because there has been attempts by some. There was one of these Christians, Sister Nini. He came on the live stream and he claimed that he saw Allah as a frog. Nauzubillah. It's really crazy. I don't know where he gets that idea from. Okay, it's nuts. It's just nuts. Is it? What are your thoughts on that, Sister Nini?
You can make claims, you can say that you saw a lot of things, but similarly on our part, we can also say we saw a lot of things, dreamed a lot of things, but that one is subjective, a subjective approach lah. If you can give us an objective assessment of things on your intellectual, with an intellectual mind frame, then we can evaluate lah and see whether it is based on something that is objective lah, something that is objective rather than giving us a subjective
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
example.
yeah. On that note, maybe we can continue the discussion that we had last week before the stream crashed. You know that some Christians claim that they saw Jesus in the dream, and then they suddenly saw Jesus. Some ex-Muslims claiming to be ex-Muslims, they say, "Oh, we saw Jesus in a dream. Therefore, Jesus has to be God, and therefore I converted." What are your thoughts on that? Do you think those claims are true, or are they based on fact, or or are they just basically using too much substance, maybe substance abuse, maybe?
I think it goes from many angles lah, how you want to interpret your dream, because Muslims, we take dreams seriously, and if you take it from, we have a methodology of interpreting dreams as expounded in the hadith, but how you want to interpret the dream depends lah. So if you're a non-Muslim, you might even get a dream about your state of
Sorry, Sister Nini, can't hear you. Yeah. Sorry, you were breaking up. Can you repeat the last few seconds? Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know why you broke up in the last few seconds. Maybe you can repeat that again.
Yeah, okay, so there were 600 pastors who reverted to Islam, and the one who initiated it was a pastor who had a dream. So it's still subjective when you talk about dreams. You can say that you saw Jesus. I can also say I dreamt about Jesus. Anybody might even had a dream, but it's not to say that he is God unless you interpret it that way, unless somebody tells you it is God. So how do we assess that he is God? So you have to go to the source of the Revelations, the book of Revelations. So you study it from the book of Revelations and see, because you can see the
sorry, to clarify, you're not, right, by the way, to clarify, you're not referring to the book of Revelations in the New Testament, right? You're not referring to that, right?
I'm referring to what we have as a
Revelation, right?
Yeah, Revelation
as
lah.
a revealed
Yeah.
source, as a revealed source.
Revealed
You're not talking about
source,
the book of
yeah.
Revelation. Yeah, you're not talking about the book of Revelation, which is a different book. Okay.
No, not the book of Revelations in the Bible.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
talking about the
Yes,
sources. So we have
understand.
so we study it and we see and assess lah whether it is truly consistent with the message. So that is a better approach lah. Whatever you want to imply from a subjective element, you have to verify with an objective assessment. That is my point of view.
Exactly.
Only then you
Exactly.
can,
Exactly.
when you seek truth, the truth will
Yeah.
set you free lah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Right, right, right. I agree with you. I agree with you. In fact, I believe that as Muslims, we should not take dreams as hujjah or as an argument for anything. So, what if you suddenly you dream that pork is halal for everyone? Are you going to accept that as truth? Because we know that in the Quran, God forbids us to eat pork. Then suddenly you have a dream, some figure comes to you wearing maybe a serban, a juba, or whatever, and then that figure says, "Oh, you don't have to eat. You don't have to worry about eating pork. You can go ahead and eat pork." Are you going to take that as evidence that you can eat pork? You see, so this is the kind of that is why if we look at the scholars of Islam, they say dreams are meant for personal dreams. There are two types. One which dreams which are true, another dream which is basically from iblis or from shaitan, so or which is meant as a test for you. So in any case, you cannot use dreams as evidence to negate a religious law. Okay, but if you look at the New Testament, this is actually what the Christians do. They use dreams or interpret dreams uh, as a way to negate laws. Like for example, if you read in the book of Acts, I think it was Peter. He dreamed that pork was legal. Suddenly he had a dream, pork was legal, and then suddenly he saw Jesus in the dream apparently, and Jesus said that pork was legal, and then he started saying that pork is legal, and then they all started eating pork because of that. So this is one, and also we also have the story of Paul, okay, on his journey to Damascus, wanting to kill more Christians, by the way, claiming to have seen Jesus in a dream. And then suddenly he apparently converted to Christianity, and then he started teaching a different gospel from what Jesus actually taught. In fact, I think it was in Philippians or in I don't remember, Colossians, I'm not sure, one of those epistles, he said that he's preaching a different gospel from what Jesus taught. Okay, so you can see how Christians, they rely so much on these visions and dreams. That is why when you see an so-called ex-Muslim claiming to have a dream, have a dream and saying that he or she saw Jesus in a dream, and then he converted because of that, you should be careful, because this person may be lying, or he maybe has too much substance abuse. Okay, maybe he was smoking too much weed, I would say. Okay, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, while waiting for more people to come in, if there's anyone who wants to join, inshallah, maybe Sister Nini, maybe you can give your feedback on my recent debate with Tijam, the on the topic of Aisha's marriage. Maybe you can share your thoughts on that. Sister Nini, are you there? Calling one. Oh,
I lost
oh,
you.
sorry.
I
I was
lost you for
asking
a
where.
moment.
Okay. I was asking whether you want to share your thoughts on my recent debate with Tijam regarding the marriage of Aisha. What was your
I can.
what was your review of the debate? So what do you think of my performance, and what do you think of the arguments, and etc. All right.
I found it interesting. I found your position as you put yourself in a objective manner. I didn't find him able to refute your claims. So I couldn't accept for being, giving an emotional, just giving emotional
Sorry, sister, you were breaking up. I can't hear you now. Okay, you need to.
I'm on the
Yeah.
road actually.
No wonder.
uh,
Okay, that explains why you were
uh,
breaking up. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
yeah.
All right.
Try to talk, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
arrive to my destination soon, so I'll be
All right.
able
All right.
to solve this problem.
All right.
So
All right. All right.
I
Okay.
find that
Uncle is
I
here. Wait.
I
Let me answer Uncle first. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Before that. Super Hydra. Is brother Islamic calling going to be on stream? I don't know. I've already messaged him. Inshallah, if he's free, then he will come on. All right, Super Hydra. And then Uncle Fauzi, how to talk online? Brother, you just go to the link above. There's a link there,
you have to
which is
share it
pinned to
with
the
him.
top, and click on it. Okay, I think I better share it with you. Okay, Uncle, I will share the link with you. Give me a moment. All right. Wait, let me see if I can share it with him. Let me see. Let me give me a moment, right? Yeah. Give me a moment. I still loading. My internet is. Oh dear, I need to authenticate my connection now. Damn. Okay, give me a moment. It's gonna take a while. I need to authenticate this. Okay, I'm authentic. I can't see any comments, right, guys? Because I'm authenticating. Link the device. Okay. All right. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Give me a moment. I'm still authenticating my connection. Okay. All right. If anyone wants to come on, please feel free to come on using the StreamYard link. Yeah. Don't worry about brother Uncle Fauzi because he's gonna get the link from me. So no worries about that. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hang on. Give me a moment. Right. Give me a moment. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Where's Uncle? Uncle. Okay. Yeah, my laptop unfortunately is very slow, so it's going to take a while. Okay. Boom, and I've just given the link, I guess. Yep, I just given the link. I think someone just joined. Okay, I think. Oh, Pak Engku. Okay. Okay, someone joined.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Finally. I've been trying to enter,
Ah.
but tak boleh.
Okay, so I guess you're hearing me loud and clear.
Oh, very loud and clear, very good. Very good discussion.
Good. Right. So, I was just asking Kak Nini about my debate with Tijam regarding the marriage of Aisha. I don't know whether you saw that debate.
Tak sempat. Couldn't watch it.
Okay, but anyway, what do you think of that argument actually? Because those atheists, or not just atheists, but non-Muslims, even Christians, they say that the Prophet was that thing, okay, because he married Aisha at 9 years old. Do you think that argument actually stands to the scrutiny? Is it even logical to assume that just because the Prophet married Aisha at that age? What is your opinion on it?
My opinion, I got 2 points here. Number one, you cannot compare the culture of those time and with our culture. Okay.
Exactly.
Number one.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yes.
Number two,
Exactly.
Aisha the person, most of the majority of the hadith come from Aisha.
Yes, that's right.
Not one single hadith Aisha regretted her marriage.
Exactly. Yeah, these are the 2 points that I raised during the debate, but that atheist was kepala batu, okay, kepala batu and ketegak or people in the north, orang utara cakap ketegak, ketegak.
Yeah.
So so that's the best word for it lah. Okay, that's the best word for it.
But the big picture is
worse than stubborn.
the big picture is, I mean, these are historical. Yeah, even in the Bible, a lot of prophets also are the cases. And even in America now in the West, people are marrying at below the age level.
Below the age of consent. Yes, that's right.
But what is important to me here is that about the theological part, how far does it affect the faith and the theology of Islam or other religion?
Exactly.
So what? The Prophet marry someone whatever age, So what?
Exactly.
If the Prophet want to marry underage, he can marry 20 and more underage. Why not?
Yes, exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
But there is in Islam we call it hikmah.
Yes.
Because the youngest wife of the Prophet, Aisha, the one with the most memory of the teaching and the sunnah of the Prophet, and that's why most of the hadith come from Aisha, and not many come the other wife.
Yeah.
So that after all, to me, it's not a structural or fundamental issue into the faith.
Exactly. It's not. Never was. Yeah.
No. To me, let's go back to the Aqidah, to the theology.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think this has actually to have some. Yeah, I think this issue. You know why this issue is so concerning to the Western mind. It is because it's currently in the West. You see a lot of this. Sex offenders. This child. These denigrates called pedophiles who rape little children below the age of puberty. These people are actually from the West. Okay, you don't see Asians going around doing this. The majority of the sex offenders are Westerners. Okay, they come from that culture. So because of this, okay, they attach a stigma to all child marriages. Okay, or those whom they think married a child. So unfortunately, because the Prophet married someone whom they think was a child, so the Prophet got hit by this stigma. When in actual fact, if you compare what we experience now with 104,000 years ago, it's not the same thing. And it is not just the Prophet alone who married someone whom you deem to be below the age of puberty, which is also again not true, because we know that Aisha had reached puberty when the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam consummated the marriage, right? Because in any case, if we look in history, there are so many people, and I gave a whole list of them during the debate, who married a bride as young as even 6 years old or even younger. Okay. And this guy, you know what this guy did? This atheist guy did? He just simply throws everyone out of the bus, and he says, "Oh, they're all pedophiles." That's it. That's his only argument. Just because they married someone below the age of 12, according to him, we don't know by what standard he deems that anyone below the age of 12 is a child. He just throws everyone under the bus, and he claims that all of them are pedophiles. So everyone before the 20th century are pedophiles. That is his argument, which is quite dumb to me, right?
Can I add? Can I add something?
Go ahead. Yeah,
I
sure.
find it peculiar. I do find it peculiar that Tijam ni, he wants to attack Aisha and Nabi Muhammad SAW, but he cites Aisha's hadith. That means her
that's a good point.
her narrations on Nabi Muhammad.
On the age. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
he
So
cites them. In fact,
from Aisha herself. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if he wants to discredit Aisha, please cite other hadiths lah that is not from Aisha.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can see the dissonance,
the hypocrisy,
the hypocrisy as well. Yeah, because he's not knowledgeable at all in Islam. I can tell you that. This guy Tijam, I have debated him before, and he doesn't actually have any knowledge of Islam per se. He only has some knowledge of Christianity. I'm not really sure, but he just hates all religions, and unfortunately, because Islam is the topic of discussion, therefore he just attacks Islam. In fact, I was doing some research. I found out that his opening statement, where he attacked Aisha's age and everything, he actually took that from David Wood, word for word. Everything in his opening statement was actually borrowed or was copied from David Wood's opening statement. Okay, so he's that dumb, he's that idiotic. He doesn't have any knowledge of the material that he's talking about. He just simply cites someone else and he uses it to attack Islam.
Brother, I want to share one biological point here. Let's look at the fact and objective of biology here.
Yes,
why do girls or females has menstruation? And why at the early age? Some at 12, right? Yeah, or 11, right?
Yes.
So I mean, God created them to be ready for marriage and have family.
Yes. Exactly.
The problem now is that in these days the culture are different.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes, exactly. True. That's true. That's 100% correct.
Why don't you be nature? That's nature.
Correct. Yes, it is. It is the nature of the time to marry someone around the age of 9 or 10 once he or she reaches puberty. In fact, we have hadiths where boys or young men by the age of 12 or 13 leading a war, leading a team to war. Okay, 12 or 13 years old, the Sahaba Nabi, the Prophet's companions, who was about 12 or 13 years old. Okay, going to war. Okay.
How old was Alexander the Great when he was great? How old?
That's a good. I don't know.
How old were the Islamic general? How old were they?
Maybe you can answer that question and go. I'm not sure.
Because they are early age, late 20 or 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today,
very young, right?
Today, at age 20, 30, we don't find anybody become general at the moment or leader conquer the world.
Very rare. Even if we do, it's super rare. Yeah, it's impossible. In fact, yeah, it's impossible. In fact, right? It's even impossible. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share some comments from Sorry, Inko, I'm going to share some comments from the chat. All right. So, Dav Zaim, isn't Tijam an atheist? Yes, he is. He is an atheist. Yeah, he is an atheist. Why is he trying to morally judge Islam when, according to his worldview, morality is an illusion? That's a good question. I don't know. You should ask him. But he claims to be a moral objectivist. Yeah, he claims to be a moral objectivist. Yeah, I don't know what that means to him. Okay, because he likes to redefine things according to his own worldview. Okay, but the guy is really an idiot. Yeah.
This kind of statement, morality is an illusion. It comes from those who don't believe in God and who has no moral foundation. So you define to us what is illusion, how is morality. It's doing good to others, doing the right thing to others. It is an illusion.
Yeah. Exactly. In fact, Engku, I have him on record saying that necrophilia and incest is acceptable to him as long as there's consent. He actually condones necrophilia and incest as long as there's consent. You see how disgusting this guy is, and he wants to talk about morality, and he's okay with people having sex with a dead body and people having sex with their own sibling. That is disgusting. That's morally unacceptable and disgusting. And this guy wants to judge the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay.
And is that an illusion?
Maybe it's an illusion to him because in his worldview, he thinks that it's fine to do all these things. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share more comments. Okay. The youngest age is 5. Could be younger, Aki. Okay, because we know that according to the Bible, Rebecca was 3 years old when she married Isaac, the father of the Jews. Okay, so back in those days, 3 years old is when you reach puberty. Okay, the earlier the human civilization was, the faster you become, mature. Okay, that was just the condition at the time. Okay, and then let me see now. The youngest age of menstruation is 5. It depends on the individual. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, of course. Oh, by the way, brother Islamic Calling is here. Okay. Walaikum salam. Aki, if you want to join in, please do join in. The link is at the top. You can join in anytime. All right. I'll be waiting for you. All right. So yeah, I guess that actually answers. I think someone asked about you just now, brother Islamic Calling. He asked whether you will be joining the stream. I guess here's your answer. Okay, he's coming in if he wants to come in. All right. Oh, brother Smith is also here. Okay. Okay. Let me bring on brother Smith. Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yantum, how are you?
Well, I'm good. That's fast, isn't it? I wasn't expecting you to reach home until around 4.
Oh man, don't tell people I was out, bro.
I already told people that you were here already. Okay.
Right. What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah, I was just chatting about my debate with Tijam. I don't think you saw it, right? Did you see it?
The new one?
Yeah, the latest one.
Oh, Tijam, the guy who makes up his own definition for things.
Yeah, that guy. Yes, that guy. Yeah, that idiot who was eating. The guy who was eating a sandwich while I was presenting my, my opening statement. Okay, that he was that rude. Okay, and this idiot wants to talk about morality when he doesn't have any morality or any courtesy to show some respect to his opponent. Okay, this is the kind of person that wants to talk about morality.
Wait, what's his moral values, bro?
I don't know. According to Tijam, the moral values is what he defines according to his wishes. Because this guy is actually on record saying that necrophilia and incest is acceptable to him as long as there's consent. So you tell me, whether that's moral, right?
Hold on. So this guy says that moral values is according to what he thinks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why the hell should we care what he thinks?
Exactly.
Do you watch WWE, bro? Do you know The Rock?
Yeah, I know The Rock. Yeah, I don't watch WWE, but I know who The Rock is.
Yeah, you know what he famously says? He says this: "It doesn't matter what you think."
I agree with you. I'm inclined to agree with you, bro. I'm very much inclined to agree with you. Yeah.
Cool, bro. Okay, who do we
Okay.
have here? Coming up. Uncle Fauzi, Kak Nini, how you guys, man? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. How are you, Hasmi?
Alhamdulillah, can't complain.
Assalamualaikum.
Sorry, can't join. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you, Azmi?
Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. Doing very well.
Yeah. So brother Islamic calling said, sorry, can't join. I have to do a few things. All right, that's all right. Okay. One more comment here. Let's do the debate review next week, inshallah. Yeah, I'm actually coming out with a debate review of the debate that I had with Tijam. That will be next week, I think, with Islamic calling. Okay. So yeah. Okay, maybe we should talk about something else. I think talking about Tijam is too much. I think we
Let's
should
not give
just
him
wait
any
for the
time. It's a waste. It's a waste of our life.
I don't know. Kanini wants to say something before we move on to a different topic. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment. When they say
Go ahead.
underage girls, I mean they have redefined the meaning of underage. But biologically, if we are in the field of obstetric and gynecology, and I used to work there for 10 years. Biologically, our eggs, the woman's eggs, is actually most fertile the moment she reaches puberty. So her eggs are actually very, very ready for to meet with the production. The reproductive system is very fertile. So if she is most fertile at that age, so if she's offered for marriage, she will get pregnant immediately. So the problem with nowadays is that we have pushed the age limit. So every year we know that eggs will decline. So they have less eggs until when they menopause. So when they reach the age of 25, 26, when you want to marry, the eggs have already become less and not as fertile. Yeah.
Okay,
So we observe that the fertility rate has gone down. We notice that women at this day and age, it's hard for them to reproduce. So women who are pro-life, they will have a hard time to get children. So there is this problem. So there's no harm for marrying young. In fact, if you marry at the age of 18, most probably you will get children faster. But if you marry at 25, 26, and now that obesity is going on the rise, it makes it worse. So if he idolizes science and all that, he should bear that in mind.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say now.
But the problem with that, Sis Nini, the problem with that is you're explaining yourself to a person who thinks morality is subjective. If he thinks morality is subjective, he does not have a say in who marries what age. He does not have a say. He can't point the finger and say that no, the girl needs to be this age or this age or this age, because it's subjective. Pack your bags and get the hell out of here, right? Anybody can do anything. What Hitler did was okay. What Joseph Stalin did was okay. You know. So it's a waste of time to talk someone who does not have an intellect of a human being, right? That you can't talk to a dog. You can't teach a dog how a rocket works, can you? Because a dog is not that intelligent. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying a dog is not that intelligent.
Yes, understood. Yeah. You have a point. Yeah, you have a point. But you see, one thing is he claims to be a moral objectivist. You see, that's the weird thing. Yeah.
He claims to be a lot of things, bro. I don't think so. He even knows what he is.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He doesn't even know what he is.
I mean, the guy is delusional, okay. You see, so
anyway, just to piggyback on what Sis Nini has said, if you guys go ahead and I'm not even talking 1,400 years ago during the lifetime of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Go look at the look in England, in London, about 200 years ago, 300 years ago, right? And you want to Google up this person's name by the name of William Blackstone, okay, which is there. He actually wrote a law that a woman by the age of 7, okay, is legally able to be married with a man, no matter whatever the man's age is. This was 200 years, 300 years ago. All right. So forget about 1,400 years ago. We're just talking this a few generations away. Okay.
That's right.
Right. So
Definitely.
Before pointing your finger at something that you don't like just because you don't understand, I would suggest that you get yourself educated first, then talk about it.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know things, then you talk about it, bro. You know, you end up becoming a clown. You become a
Yeah. I
laughing
mean,
stock. You know.
I think the guy is too arrogant to do that. I don't think he will listen to anyone except himself. You see, that's the problem. That's
Oh man,
actually
why
the
don't
problem.
insult arrogance, bro? Don't insult arrogance. The word is stupid or dumb. Don't insult arrogance.
I try
Okay,
to
go.
refrain from that because I want to give him the benefit of that, but you're not wrong, okay?
Go ahead,
But
bro.
anyway, okay, I
Actually,
think yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead, Kak, Sister Mini.
One last
Yeah.
point. My
Okay,
grandmother
yeah.
married at the age of 12, and we didn't frown upon
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
so
Same. My
that
grandmother
was only
married.
like seven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
True.
just
True. Yeah.
70 years ago.
Yes, my grandmother married when she was 14. This was before the Second World War. This is normal. This was considered normal back then. Okay.
My
So
grandmother
actually,
married when I
yeah.
don't know what her age was. I just wanted to say
Yeah.
something.
I think if we look several generations back, we will find that women actually marry very young. It's normal. It's considered normal back then. Okay.
The best thing about young marriage is that the moment the lady is 30, 40 years old, dah ada cucu dah.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's true. That's true.
ada
That's
anak
true.
menantu dah.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Ah,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
We
Yeah.
can handle the
ah.
stress better.
Yeah, so when you're young, it's easier to handle the stress, guy. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So, yeah, lah, this issue about young marriages and all, it just comes in very, very recently. It's a modern phenomenon. It's caused by Westerners themselves, who, among them, are certain sex offenders who have an inclination for a certain, for girls at a certain age, and because of that inclination, the stigma goes against all the people, anyone who marries young with a good intentions, by the way. Okay, we are against pedophilia, by the way. We have to make this clear. We are against pedophilia. We are against pedophiles. We are against sexual abuse. But we make the distinction between pedophilia, sexual abuse at a young age, etc., from legal marriages that were conducted when the woman was young and she's able and she was willing. Okay, there's a distinction here. I think there is something which Westerners should realize, that your culture, your stigmatization of young marriages does not apply to us Asians, because we Asians, we handle this issue better than you. Okay, so I think this has to be made clear. Okay, so anyway, let's. I think we better not talk about this anymore. We say too much of it. So maybe we can move on to a different topic. I don't know. Any of you guys want to raise anything new? I guess I'm always open. Or maybe Brother Smith, maybe you want to share your experiences this morning, the debate with the atheists. Maybe you can share a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I would love to do that, but give me a second. Maybe you guys go ahead first. I'll come back in like 5 minutes.
All right.
Inshallah.
Okay, sure. No worries. Okay, so maybe okay, maybe Uncle, maybe you want to share your approach against atheists. Maybe you want to give some thoughts on that.
Hmm. Well, first we have to listen to them lah. The idea is to understand which positioning they are in the
Yeah.
ethics line timeline.
Yeah.
Whether they're
Exactly.
extreme, whether agnostic, whether just simply the hate God, or hate religion. Got to understand that category, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it all boils down to maybe some prayers not answered. It all boils down to
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
early formative years trauma, and
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
external what do you call this, influences, the
Yeah.
society
Exactly.
around. You know?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
that is the root of the problem actually. Um,
Yeah.
so the denying God is against the nature of man actually. Uh, They
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
deep inside their heart that there is a creator. You know?
Yeah.
Because no atheist to this day uh, can give what call this a satisfactory answer to the beginning of creation. You go back to the black hole and all that, even do it using the quantum field theory. But at the end of the day, where does energy come from?
Yes.
Out of nothingness. There cannot be energy out of nothingness.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
not to mention the design and the purpose of the creation.
Yeah.
So itulah.
Yeah,
Itulah.
exactly. Yeah, because you see, I think atheists, certain atheists especially, they have an ego problem. Okay,
Yep.
they
Hi.
think that they are smarter, they are superior to theists in general. They think that they have all the answers. So since they cannot perceive or see God with their science or whatever it is, so they assume, okay, since God cannot be seen, cannot be perceived, cannot be understood, therefore God doesn't exist. Okay, we have all the tools, we have all the blah blah blah, whatever. We are scientifically advanced. Why should we believe in something that does not exist according to them? Okay, but they do not realize that if God is the creator, if God is a supreme being, of course he cannot be seen. Of course he cannot be perceived by us, by our own eyes, because God should be far more intellectual, should be far more superior than us. It's like as if you create a car, with the headlights and the headlamps and everything. Can the car see us? Can the car perceive us? Can the car sense us? Of course, the car cannot sense us, cannot see us, cannot perceive us, because we are the creator. We are superior to the car. Okay, so it's the same thing with God. If God is superior, far more intellectual, far more everything, majestic and everything, of course He's going to create us without us being able to perceive and see Him, unless if He permits us to do so. This is my understanding of God. Okay, so I think this is something which atheists cannot perceive or understand. They think that science has advanced so much that they can perceive and understand God. Their science cannot do this. Their science can only take us to a certain extent, but I don't believe for a second that science will be superior to God. Okay, so I'm going to share some comments from. There's some new comments coming in. Okay, what's that? Margareta. Okay, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Okay. Then there's brother Yusri. I think it's from Indonesia. Okay, good to see you making a program. You can help the people who want to discuss and learn. Yeah, thank you, Aki. Terima kasih. Yes, that's the idea behind this program, inshallah. Right? It's a weekly thing. I hope it will be a weekly thing. Are you going to do a debate analysis or your debate against teacher? That will be next week. Next week, inshallah. Next week. Okay, next week. Great analogy. Are you talking about the car analogy? Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Yeah, I do appreciate your comments, brother. Science can only show us so much. Yep, exactly. Because science is a human thing. It's a human creation, perception of the universe. Yeah. Because science can only tell us what a certain thing is, and how a certain thing is, and how and when. Okay, maybe when to a certain extent, but it cannot tell us why things are made in a certain way. Okay, like for example, okay, we know that water is made out of, what is water made out of? Water is made out of H2O. Okay, we know it's hydrogen and oxygen, right? Hydrogen, one particle of hydrogen, and H2O, right? So two particles of hydrogen and one particle of oxygen. When you combine these two together, it becomes water. Yes, we know we know how water is made, and we know what water is made of. But do we know why water is made of? Why is it that water is created when we combine two hydrogen particles and one oxygen particle? Why can't we mix maybe, I don't know, carbon, maybe C2O maybe? Why can't we add carbon dioxide with oxygen and make it into water? Why it has to be water when we combine all this, right? To a certain amount, right? A certain particle, you see? So this is what I mean. Science cannot tell us why a certain thing is made. It can tell us how and what and when, maybe, depending on the science, but it cannot tell us why. It cannot tell us the reason why. So the reason why can only be attributed to God. Okay, that's simple. I mean, I'm trying to make it very simple for the layman. We have someone here. Okay, I don't know whether you are Muslim or not, but yes, add you in.
Hello.
Yeah, hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi.
You can hear
Are
me.
you a Muslim?
How are you?
No, I'm not a Muslim.
Okay.
So,
may I know what religion are you from, or what belief do you hold?
I don't have any particular belief. So I
So
guess
you're
you
an
can say I'm
atheist?
an atheist. Yes.
Okay, all right, okay,
So
fair enough.
I have a question
Welcome to the show.
regarding. Yeah, of course. Thank
Yeah.
you. I have a question regarding what you were just saying about the fact that the universe exists. Therefore, the universe existing is a proof of the existence of God because someone must have created the universe, right?
Yes.
Is that a
Essentially,
fair
that's what
summary of
we
your
claim.
beliefs? Okay.
Yes,
So
right,
what I'm
pretty
curious
much.
is, how do you know that the universe was created?
How do I know why? Maybe brother, I don't know, Uncle or Hasmit wants to answer this.
Sorry. Let me clarify a little bit. So,
Okay.
if the universe has always existed in some form, then there was no need for any particular God or any particular first mover to create it.
Okay.
So you are saying the universe was eternal. Is that what you're saying, Hunter?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we don't know that it is not eternal. How can we?
So you're just giving an idea. That's what you're doing. You're just giving an idea. What if the universe has been there always? Is that what you're saying?
Right, because obviously I don't have a time machine and I can't go back to before the Big Bang or to the Big Bang itself. I think most physicists would tell you that we do not know beyond all doubt that there was such a thing as a Big Bang. We think there was probably a Big Bang, but we certainly can't know that for certain. So, what are your thoughts?
No, what's your best hypothesis that how did the universe, was it just there and then all things, all microform, all mechanism, every cell just evolved through time and then it is what it is today?
Okay,
Share
so
with me.
there are two completely separate things here. There are two completely separate things.
Share with me.
Are we talking about
Hunter,
the yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Share with us what you think so that we can respond to you.
Okay, so I think we need to look at there are two completely separate things. There's matter, right? Matter are atoms, things that we're made of, which are particles, and then there are the fundamental particles, which all of our atoms and molecules and everything are made of, and those are completely different things. So I need to. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, deflect. I'm asking which of those two things are you asking about? Are you asking about the molecules and atoms that make us up and that allowed us to form into life forms, or are you talking about the fundamental particles, quarks, and the other things that may be potentially smaller than quarks? Although, is my understanding is. Scientists believe that quarks are the most fundamental particles at this point, although then we can get into the question of whether we are even able to perceive all of the dimensions of the laws of physics. A lot of the laws of physics don't make sense with just what we can see. So I don't want to get into that. So which exactly are you asking about?
I guess I'll be asking about the first one that you said. So you're talking about particles and the existence of matter. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that one.
Okay. So over the last 20 or 30 years, there is a lot of evidence to suggest that energy and atoms, the actual stuff that makes us up, can in fact appear from nothing. In other words, they are able to, examine this particular patch of space, and it's nothing there one moment, and then because of the quantum fluctuations, the next moment there is something. There is something there that was not there. That it's not from some energy, not from anything else that came in from outside. They have sensitive enough instruments they can detect that. It just comes from nothing. So for all we know, the universe could have just happened because a completely random quantum fluctuation.
I don't want to strawman you, Hunter, but I, just so that I understand, so that I don't strawman you, you are saying that there is a possibility that something could have come out of nothing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right.
If we're talking about matter, not fundamental forces, not fundamental particles.
We are talking about matter, right? Okay. So what's the evidence? Because that'll be interesting.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. So are you familiar with the Large Hadron Collider and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So basically, let me see. Let me make sure I'm giving you. I don't want to, misstate the thing here. Okay, so basically, and this is a very recent article. This is from 2022. Full disclosure, I'm not a doctor or a physicist or anything like this. I'm just an enthusiast. So basically, if they create a strong enough electric field in a lab, they have sheets of something called graphene, which allows the spontaneous creation of pairs of particles from what they say is nothing. So, I could share a link, but honestly, this is the kind of thing that would take a long time to get. I probably can't explain it very well personally. It would take a long time to explain it, but the basic idea is that these matter-antimatter pairs of particles can appear from nothing. And it's essentially this substance called graphene that allows them to detect it. Now, I know you might say that, well, is that coming from the material? But there's a lot of people who understand this a lot better than I do. And they say that they think that it's coming from nothing. Yes.
Mr. Hunter,
Sorry,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Mr. Hunter.
One second, Pak Angku, sorry. Yeah, I just want to. Are you talking about the Schrödinger's effect state? Is that what you're saying? Are you talking about the Schrödinger effect state?
I don't want to say definitely yes, but I believe so.
Okay, go ahead, Pak Angku. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I'm very interested in your statement when you mentioned about this lab experiment. Mm-hmm. And then this lab has to have the proper electrical, what do you call this? Just now you said some the right form of electrical force or mm-hmm. power or supply, whatever it is. Then suddenly mm-hmm. you have this thing appear, right? Did you say that?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the point. Somebody have to create a situation where this thing must appear. Yep. Through that electrical formulation.
Whoa. You said, okay, so you mean somebody in the sense of scientists had to set this.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
take out that electrical supply or whatever.
I think I might be messing. I think I might be. So, matter and energy are interchangeable at some level, right? So I'm not saying that they were able to introduce a concentrated amount of energy and that caused stuff to appear from nothing. I mean that they're able to detect the from it's like very single particles, almost nothing that would affect the real world, quote unquote. But as far as the scientists can tell nowadays, it can appear from nothing. And the electrical field, where the electrical field comes in, you said the Casimir effect, right? Is that what you said? I think. I'm sorry. Was that Shal? Yeah. Right. Exactly. So he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes, you could say that the electrical field is causing that, but that's not matter. So the matter is popping up from somewhere, right?
Yeah. So you do understand that that is a what do you call it? It is a quantum fluctuation, right? That the universe could have spontaneously from nothing.
The matter in the universe, yes.
Yeah, but then the thing is what Angku is saying here. You still need the quantum though for it to fluctuate and bring it to something.
Yes.
So I guess correct. I don't know, Pak Angku. I don't want to throw man you either, right? Is that what you're asking? Who created the quantum?
No. I'm asking why do you assume it was created? Why do you assume it hasn't always existed?
No, the point is just now the experiment. We call it the quantum vacuum field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's a quantum vacuum field. So this quantum vacuum field is not a vacuum. You must set up the lab properly, yeah, so that the particle will appear, energy become mass or whatever. So the two questions there. So somebody got to prepare to make the right moment, right vacuum, formula. And then this energy, which is invisible energy, you cannot see energy, you can feel, right? So the energy has been there, and then converted into particles, and then become mass. All right. So the question is, this energy come from where? That's the point. This energy come from where before they become mass, And then when people say that it has been there, existed all the time, so you got to prove it has been there all the time. So
I never said I had proof. I never said I had proof that it has existed
you
all
asked
the time.
for proof about the creator. Now you get me to prove, it has been there all the time, and it must happen many times everywhere, all the time. So this is just one or two cases of that experiment. It must be repeated everywhere, anywhere, anytime. It must appear just like that, So normally we call it miracle or metaphysical, whatever it is. But then again, one who say that things existed as if has been there all the time. There's no beginning. Yeah. So
not the matter. Although it's possible it could have existed for all time. But the matter probably came from the Big Bang. Everything we know in science suggested. I'm talking about the fundamental things, the particles.
But we go one step ahead. Okay, we go one step ahead. After the creation of this,
okay, that's better.
After the creation of this particle and all that.
So let him go finish, and now let Kak Nini ask the question, right?
No. Another one thing. After that, there must be a purpose. There must be a purpose. The energy field ratio is correct. The magnetic, the gravity, nuclear force, nuclear weak force, nuclear strong force must be correct. So these are fine tuning, which nothingness, cannot simply tune themselves just like that. Yeah, I think we actually Nini was something.
Mr. Hunter, thank you very much for your input and contribution. But I just have one question. Is there anything observable in nature that, apart from the Big Bang, nothing turned into something, apart from the experiments and anything, something that is organic, something that is observable in nature?
Something that is observable in nature. So you mean something coming from nothing, outside of these experiments?
Yeah. Apart from the Big Bang,
Well, apart from the Big Bang, well, the experiments suggest that this happens on a very, very tiny scale, constantly. That the particles and antiparticles are being, created, and just flying off. I know that that's, that's because of the vacuum. You already brought it up, because of the vacuum energy. So you can't say that is truly from nothing, because the vacuum is in some sense something, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. But what I'm saying is that there's a difference between the particles, the things you talk about in nature, and the fundamental forces, which are kind of at a deeper level than the particles. If I give an analogy, the particles are like air, and the fundamental forces are like Earth. Although that's greatly understating it. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah. So thank you. I just want to see your angle.
Yeah. So, sorry, I've been talking a lot. Do you have any other questions?
No. I don't know if you have any, but so you were postulating earlier that you kind of don't really believe that the Big Bang really happened, right? That was your position earlier.
No, I do not have a strong belief that the Big Bang happened. I think the Big Bang is a pretty good theory.
Yeah, why is that?
because I wasn't there, and because we have no way of going back in time and
No. I mean, come on, Hunter. Let's not be like that. Or none of us was there, right? Not even the scientists was there, right? Yeah. So the scientists have, they have studied and they have looked at it and they say, look, this could be the best possible explanation. And you are now coming and you are saying, wait a minute, there might be another answer. So what?
No. I'm not saying it's unlikely. I'm not saying that I have a better explanation. I'm saying that I don't believe it is definitely true that there was a Big Bang. I do think there was probably a Big Bang. I think it was.
So what would be much more? What would you think personally then, other than the Big Bang? What could it be?
I don't. I think that the Big Bang is the most likely explanation. I'm saying that I'm not sure that it happened.
All right. So what happened before the Big Bang?
That's actually a really interesting question. Are you familiar with Roger Penrose at all?
Yes.
So they've actually, I mean, this is really new stuff. They've just started learning about this stuff. Some have suggested, of course, they used to think that after the universe reaches a certain point, then it'll start contracting, and eventually we'll get the big crunch. You probably heard of the big crunch, right? And now they think that because of the expansion, because of what they call the cosmological constant, that's probably not going to happen. One theory that they've come up with fairly recently, I think that's 20 or 30 years, is that after all matter and energy in the universe, our current universe, decays into nothing, which it will eventually, probably, that's what they think will happen. Even the black holes will go away. There will be nothing, no energy, no matter, absolutely nothing, not even any gravity, no space, no time. And at that point, it is possible that because there is no more matter and there's no more mass to define, to create gravity, there is effectively no more space, then the density of the empty universe will become effectively infinite and will cause a new Big Bang. So really, it's just kind of a new version of the Big Crunch theory in a way, that after the universe decays into nothing, evaporates into nothing, then there will be a new Big Bang and a new universe. And it could be a different universe with completely different physical laws than ours. Could be that this is the only universe there will ever be where there will be thinking, intelligent beings like us. It's a humbling thought.
Roger Penrose, and I agree, very new thing that they're diving into. Probably take a couple of years down the road before they even can make sense of it. Let's leave that to them, right?
Yeah,
so let's
probably.
talk what we do. Yeah, what we do know at this moment right now. So if I share with you the idea of before the Big Bang, so scientists postulate that there was a singularity, right? There was a singularity, all of that singularity concentrated, and then it explodes. Are you holding to that idea or what?
Yeah, I think, well, the evidence suggests that that's the best explanation. Yeah, that there was a singularity. Singularity has a very specific meaning. I'm not sure that it was a singularity per se, but yeah, the infinite point of infinite density, and yeah,
sure, no problem. So you've got the singularity now, okay? How would you categorize? How would you try to understand the singularity? What can it be, or what it is, right? Do you think that there is something else before the singularity, or is that just a singularity before we want to go anywhere further? What I'm trying to do now is, Hunter, before we continue, I'm going to try to take you step by step, right? So one by one, before actually jumping to whether the universe was created by who or by what, okay? Whether there is a God, yes, no, who's right, who's wrong, right? Before all of that, I need first to understand that in the first place, that if there is something that is conscious and intelligent out there, right, that it has to be the way it is, and it cannot be in any other way. That is not necessary. That even if it is in another realm or in another universe, it has to be the way it is. It can't be any other way than it is. Do you understand what I mean?
I think I'm following you. So something that would have, this is the necessary being thing, right? Right. So I think that the necessary being. Okay. Well, you go ahead. I don't want to jump ahead of you.
Yeah. So let's forget about the necessary being and let's go on the singularity. So when the singularity, when it was there, right? It was there. Would you say that this singularity was there eternally, or someone brought it, or something brought it into existence, or would you postulate the idea that you first put out that this singularity came out of nothingness? So you've got three options, right? The singularity came out of nothingness, which you said earlier, or you put out that idea earlier, right? And then you've got a singularity that was created, or the singularity was there eternal. Which of these three would you go?
Well, no, not so much that it itself was there eternally, just sitting there. More like I guess I would say it's more like the processes that led to it existing were there eternally.
Oh, that's good. I agree with you. The processes that led to it being there, right?
Right.
Okay, cool.
So there's three options.
So what do you think this process is? This is really interesting, Hunter, because I did not think you would answer that. To be honest.
What?
I did not see that coming.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. You mean which one do I think is?
No. What happened? Yeah. So you said that something through the process of something that this singularity was brought into existence, right? Mm-hmm. What would you say that thing would be? The process of what bringing the singularity into existence?
Obviously one example of it is that there is some kind of prime mover, some kind of original force, which we could call God. I'm not sure what, we can talk some more about what the attributes of that whatever it is would have later. But setting that aside for the moment, if we're talking about a singularity, a Big Bang, which comes about because of existing processes, then just because that's how it is, because those are the process, because there is this fundamental layer of reality, right? And a quality of it is that it will cause Big Bangs.
Okay, cool. So would you agree with me then that this process of creating the singularity, like what I postulated earlier, has to be that way, that everything is contingent on it, okay? And it is not contingent on anything else. And that it has to be that way in every other forms of planet or universe or anything that you want to say.
Well, there's the multiverse theory, which suggests that there are other possible universes and that there's probably a lot of universes out there in which no matter was ever able to form, and that they are just empty forever. So I'm not sure that it would I don't think the universe necessarily had to have the properties that it does, which led to us existing. No,
you misunderstood my question. I'm not talking about the universe. Listen to my question again. Thing or the processes, the thing that brought the singularity into existence, okay? Mm-hmm. So that thing, right? Mm-hmm. Not the singularity, the thing, okay? It in itself cannot be contingent to anything else, but everything else is contingent to it. And that it cannot be in any other way, which means, I'll give you an example. So it exists in this universe, right?
Right.
In another universe, it has to exist for that universe to have the Big Bang, the singularity, the Big Bang, then that universe.
To have a universe with matter, yes.
Yeah. So it has to exist, right? In the same way.
No.
Why not?
Because it's perfectly possible to have a universe in which the fundamental forces that you were talking about do not have the qualities which make the existence of matter possible.
So there's no need for matter to create the Big Bang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no need
thought
for
those questions were done.
Okay, there's no need for the Big Bang to create matter then. To create the Earth or the universe, the whole idea that you were speaking about the Big Bang.
Right. There's no need for a Big Bang to happen. It's just we're in a universe that happened to give us one.
There is no need for a Big Bang. Then how did we get this universe though? I thought we agreed on the Big Bang.
How did we get this universe? Because the fundamental forces had certain qualities that cause a Big Bang to happen.
Yeah. So I'm talking about that quality, that forces that you were talking about.
Right.
So
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that is inevitable.
Cannot be in any other way.
No, I don't think so. I think because can you imagine it? Can you imagine a universe in which there are, okay, so there's a quantum field, right? But there's just no matter ever. There's no Big Bang. There's just nothing. Can you imagine that?
No, of course not.
You can't?
No.
You can't imagine a universe where no matter exists?
Without a Big Bang? Without anything?
Yeah, where there was no Big Bang and nothing ever existed. You can't imagine that?
No, then it will be nothing, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then there would be no, technically there wouldn't be nothing. There would be the quantum fields. There would be whatever these fundamental, the vacuum, right? There would be the vacuum, but there would be no matter.
The vacuum. Okay, the vacuum, the quantum fields.
Yeah.
How will it be? Will it be contingent to something else? Well, 1 minute, Kadini. I will end, and then sorry, you can go in.
Would what be contingent?
Would the quantum field that you just said, would it be contingent to something else? Can you show me a quantum field that is contingent to anything?
Well, it's possible that it was created by
Can you
something
show me
else.
a quantum field that is not contingent on anything?
That is not contingent on anything. Well, we don't know how it was created. We don't have any evidence of it ever being created. So I am not going to assume that it ever was created. I'm not going to assume that there was ever a time in which it didn't exist, because we don't have any evidence that it's possible for the quantum fields to not exist. We don't have any evidence of something where there is no vacuum.
Yeah, so you need the vacuum.
Well, no, we don't need it. We don't have, I guess you could say we need it. Yeah, we don't have evidence that it's possible for it to not exist. It may be.
So you need it. So it's contingent on it.
What is contingent on it?
It needs something for it to be into existence.
Why do you assume it came into existence?
Because if not, there's nothing, then nothing can happen.
Well, again, this is why at the very beginning I was saying there's a difference between the fundamental forces and matter. What I'm saying is, so I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding. What I'm saying is that I can definitely imagine a universe in which there was no matter.
Oh,
I think I might have lost the internet. Okay, there I can see again.
Yeah, you got cut out a little bit. Anyway, sorry, because Sis Nini wanted to say something. We'll continue and get Hunter. No problem. Yeah, go ahead, Sis Nini. I'm sorry.
It's interesting what you guys are talking about. I just have another observation, a question also. Mr. Hunter, you said that you can imagine a new universe that is nothing. Is that correct from my understanding? Another universe that is nothing. Okay.
No matter. No
so
energy.
how would you explain how it willed what willed that nothing to come into something? What is the precursor for it to become something? How would you define it scientifically? I mean, my question is how does this nothing, if you define nothing as absolutely devoid of anything, how does this nothing, this universe, make itself into something?
Into matter. Matter and energy. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier.
On its own.
Remember, well, it's not really doing it on its own if it's happening because of the fundamental layer of reality, if I can call it that, that is I could say below, if that makes sense, the matter and energy that we perceive and are made of. That's not really coming from nothing.
Okay. So once again, you also made the premise that the cosmos was not created, and that it was eternal, and that it had pre-existed from time immemorial. Is this correct from my understanding?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
Okay. So we can't prove that. You know that. But once again, scientific observation by now, if it was time immemorial, energy, if I'm not mistaken, from my understanding, energy would have been changed by now, isn't it?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Say that again. That
if this universe had existed from time immemorial, by now we would have exhausted all energy.
No. I'm not saying that the matter existed from time immemorial. In fact, I'm pretty sure it didn't, because everything that we know now suggests that all matter and energy will eventually decay into nothing. Proton decay. Even not just the atoms, even the protons, even the light, everything will eventually decay into nothingness. So yeah, I'm talking about what came before the matter, and what doesn't need the matter. The vacuum that we're talking about does not need to have any matter. That's why it's vacuum.
Okay, thank
Does
you.
That make sense? Sure.
I'm trying to rationalize what you're saying. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. So yeah, basically that's if I'm taking up too much of your time, I can knock off whenever you want. That's just the main thing I wanted to come on to say, that I don't see any reason to assume that the parts of the universe that seem like they preceded matter and can potentially create matter and energy from nothingness. I don't see any reason to assume that hasn't always existed.
Right. Okay. Maybe we can talk about something a bit more familiar. Maybe I can take up a bit of your time before you leave, or let me find something, a subject.
I probably
where are you at? By the way, where's your location? By the way, I'm just curious.
I'm in America.
Oh, which part of US?
I live in Texas.
I was born in the States, by the way. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was born in the States, California, San Jose. Yeah, so I'm actually, by right, technically speaking, I would be an American, but I was never raised in the US, which is an irony.
Well,
anyway,
citizenship, yeah.
I probably would if I pursue it, but let's leave it for another time, because that's actually illegal here in Malaysia, because in Malaysia we don't recognize dual citizenship, right?
Oh,
so anyway, I just want to ask you, what are your opinions regarding Islam? Actually, how do you view Islam, especially from your worldview?
Well,
or how much do you, or maybe I can rephrase it. How much do you know about Islam?
I have, I guess, a reasonable lay understanding. I've done a lot of watching of, debates and things about that. When you say, what is my opinion of Islam, you have to understand that I don't believe in any religions, so I don't believe that there is one true form of any particular religion. So I don't believe that there is Islam. Yeah. I believe that there are particular interpretations of Islam.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So what do you know about Islam? That's the question.
You want me to give you a basic rundown of the belief system?
Apart from knowing that Islam believes in the one true God, do you know anything else in particular about Islam?
Yeah, well, I'm familiar with. Okay, so again, we're getting into the question of which Islam, who's Islam, Sunni Islam, Shia Islam, Ahmadi Islam, which I know you don't think is Islam.
Just tell me what you know about Islam. That's all. It doesn't matter whether it's Sunni or Shia or whatever. Let's not go into details. I just want a brief understanding of your worldview. That's all.
So if we are talking about, if we are we okay, so we're not talking specifically about traditionalist Orthodox Sunni Islam.
No,
We're talking about
just
Islam in
generic.
general.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It's an Abrahamic religion, which, and I hope I don't give offense. It seems to me like it was.
You can say whatever you
probably-
want. Yeah, that's why.
Okay,
This
sure,
platform
right.
is here.
So
about.
it seems
Yeah.
to me like it was probably based in large part off of earlier belief systems, particularly Christianity and Zoroastrianism, and that it has been that it was particularly successful in spreading during a certain period of history because it was very aggressively evangelistic, because it placed heavy restrictions on people who didn't convert to it, while at the same time practicing a minimal form of toleration of other belief systems that encouraged people to essentially participate in one or other form of Islamic governance until they could eventually be converted to it. If we're talking about my general view of things, I think that it's kind of gradually I know you won't agree with this. I think it's gradually succumbing to modernism, which seems to be the general tendency for most religions and belief systems.
Not in this part of the world, by the way. Not in this part of the world, but yeah, carry on.
Well, does your government claim to be a secular state?
No, it doesn't. Not really. Not really. It tries to be. How would I put it? A moderate form of Islam. It doesn't. But it doesn't. Claim to be secular.
Does it implement the Sharia?
In limited forms, yes. In limited forms.
Okay, in limited forms.
Yes.
Does it implement the Sharia in ways that would draw serious repercussions from major world powers such as the United States and the EU? Like, for example, in Brunei, where they started implement, I think, hand chopping and some of the things like the hudud. And I know the hudud is not the whole of the law system. I'm just saying, does it implement those?
No, not in Malaysia, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a limited form of Sharia, which covers family and financial laws, and basically marriage, divorce, maybe in terms of in terms of finances, in terms of the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, the finances involving that, the logistics, etc. But we don't actually implement the laws fully. The laws that you are speaking of, those are the criminal laws or the hard laws. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have this because our system was inherited from the British. I'm not sure how much you know about Malaysian history, but we were once colonized by the British. Okay, the British came here and they colonized us for over 600 years. So most of the laws, when we gained independence in 1957, most of the laws that we got from the British were inherited from them. So we try to synchronize it with Islam, but unfortunately that effort hasn't been really be successful. There's still a synchronization, as I would
who's stopping
synchronization
it?
as I put it. Sorry.
Who's stopping it?
Good question. I would say many factors. Okay, because in Malaysia we don't really have a Muslim majority. We have a Muslim majority here, but it's not
not a super majority
Muslim. Not a super majority, definitely not. I think it's about 55% Muslims here in Malaysia. So there's also a significant non-Muslim population, and because in Malaysia especially we have this culture of how would I put it? I would say we don't want to, basically don't want to step on other people's toes unnecessarily. Therefore, we put off implementing the laws that you mentioned, which is the hard laws and etc. But in Brunei, it's a different thing because in Brunei there is a super majority of Muslims, so it isn't an issue for Brunei to implement that. Okay. So are the other countries which implement this. Okay. In Malaysia, it's a bit different because the situation is such that we cannot do it now. Okay, even if we want to, we can't do it now because of there are many political considerations and social implications if we were to do it. Okay, so that is why we try to avoid the topic. Okay, unfortunately for the government. Okay, that's the reason. That doesn't mean I agree with it, but this is how the situation is. Okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Hey Hunter, I don't know if you're rushing, but do you want to go back to what we were discussing earlier?
I know it's 2 a.m. his side.
We were talking for a long time. If Menj has anything else he wanted to ask me,
sorry, it's pronounced MENJ, by the way.
MENJ.
MENJ.
All right.
It's an acronym.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. People keep making the mistake of pronouncing my initials as MENJ. I don't know why. Okay, I think this came from David Wood. Okay, so it's actually MENJ. They are pronounced individually. Okay, they are my initials.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah. So so maybe you want to have any questions or objections to what I said just now? Maybe you want to ask anything else?
What are your questions?
Were you going to ask me something? Huh?
Do you have any questions that you want to ask about Islam?
Yeah. About Islam and Malaysia, especially. Yeah.
Well,
don't forget, I'm working for the Malaysian paradigm, right?
I guess it's kind of a hobby of mine, and I guess it's kind of a personal thing because a few years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, there was a Draw Muhammad contest, which you may have heard about.
Oh. I may have heard of it.
Yeah, about 5 minutes away from my house. Some people were doing a contest there, and a couple of people who claimed to be representing Islam showed up with guns to try and kill everybody.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. It's just I guess if I'm being honest, I do kind of feel like a particular form of Islam is a real threat to my way of life and to the freedoms of my country. So that's kind of my motivation for paying attention to this stuff and engaging with it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Just to clarify, okay, there are some issues that you raised. So you need to understand why Muslims are very much offended when this kind of nonsense like draw the Prophet Day, or burning the Quran.
Sure. I understand there's reasons why. I don't really care. I don't care that they're offended.
Yeah.
Should I have to?
Yeah. No, that's why I have to explain this, right? So,
sure.
So basically, we Muslims, we love and honor the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam means peace and blessings be upon him. By the way, so we love him more than we love our own parents. Okay. So think of it this way. So think of it this way. Okay, if your parents, if your own mom or your own dad were being, stepped on, or you were being derided. Let's say your mom was accused of horrible things and your dad was accused of horrible things, and you know that this is not true. Wouldn't you, somehow feel offended in some way? Wouldn't you feel that you need to do something about it? That you need to, protect their honor in some way? Okay, not necessarily violence, but wouldn't you feel offended and feel the need to defend them?
Sure.
Wouldn't you? This is a very basic human emotion, right? Yes, definitely. Yeah, this is a very basic human emotion. So when someone, not you specifically, but when anyone, any ignorant non-Muslim, I'm not saying you, by the way, any ignorant person who tries to do this kind of nonsense like burning the Quran or insulting the Prophet, whatever it is, or drawing by the way, drawing an image of the Prophet, any Prophet, by the way, not just Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but also Jesus, Moses, any of the biblical prophets that okay, even that kind of action, drawing those images, are offensive to us Muslims. Okay. Any prophet. Okay. So it's not just Muhammad. It's just any prophet. Okay. So when you do this kind of, when people like this ignorance, when they do this kind of things, it hurts our feelings. Okay, it's a very basic human emotion. I know it may not seem rational to an atheist. Maybe you'll say, "Oh, but this is a human right. This is a freedom of expression to do whatever it is." But freedom of expression has limitations. Okay, freedom even in secular laws, there is something called libel, right? There is something called perjury against a person, or you can actually sue someone in court if someone does a libel against you or lie against you, right?
Can you sue for libel or perjury against someone who's been dead for almost 1,000 years?
No, I mean the thing is there is such a law, right? It's not freedom. It's not what I'm trying to say here is that freedom is not absolute, right? I mean, there is a certain limit to freedom. You see, there is a limit to freedom. I mean, in any society, you can't just simply say, "Oh, that person is this, that person is that," without suffering the consequences for your actions, right? Yes. So it doesn't matter whether the person is dead for 1,000 years or not. Okay. The point here is that freedom has limitations. Okay.
Sure.
And when it comes to when it comes to the prophet, since he is a figure whom we love very much dearly, even much more so than our own parents. When someone insults him in such a manner, or what we perceive to be an insult, even though you may think that it's a freedom of expression, to us it's still a hurtful act that that would cause emotion, our basest emotion, to rise up. And of course, unfortunately, there are some Muslims who act irrationally. They will bring out guns, like what you mentioned. But there are also Muslims who would remember what the Prophet himself said about abuses done against him, and they will act according to the Islamic method, which is basically to verbally protest, or respectfully object, this kind of thing. These are more civilized way of objecting, right? So anyone who brings out guns or anything, we as Muslims, we don't agree to it. Okay? We don't
So
agree.
you don't agree with the guy who got burned to death alive in Pakistan about a week ago?
No, we don't. We don't. That is totally un-Islamic. That is totally an Islamic act. But you have to understand where. Yes, that's too extreme.
Like it
that's
only
too
happens,
extreme, and it's wrong.
Then why does it only happen in Islamic countries? Why
Because,
isn't
like
anybody
I said,
getting burned to death?
No.
Why isn't anybody getting burned to death for insulting Christian symbols?
I think that is a misconception because there's a lot of things, extremism happening in the Tamil Nadu extremists. Then there's also the Ku Klux Klan where they burn on the stake. They burn, and then they have been unfair to the blacks.
I believe that extremism. Yes, I believe extremism happens in every society, not just among Muslims. Okay.
So sorry. If you do just a short Google search, the most prominent terrorist group are known as the Tamil Tigers, and they are from India. They're the Tamilian or Hinduism extreme groups, right?
I thought they were nationalists.
Yeah, but they we could also look at when the Christians were in power, right? The Crusades and so on. I mean, they used to burn their own Christians just because they did not believe in their form of Christianity, right? So I think when it comes to extremists, I'm going to try to not be as biased, right? To say that, look, everyone else does it and Islam don't do it. That's ridiculous. We do have ignorant Islamic people over here.
We have extremists among our midst.
The thing is, just let me finish, Hunter. The thing is, Islam comes from two sources, which is the Quran, which we believe is the verbatim words of Allah, words of God, and the Hadith, which is the actions or the words of His Messenger. Now, in the Quran, okay, what we believe is the words of Allah says this. Okay, God tells us this: killing one innocent mankind, one innocent person, is as if killing the whole of mankind. So just because someone straps a bomb onto his chest, goes into a busy shopping mall on a Sunday, yells Allahu Akbar and bombs himself up, does not represent Islam.
Right.
He's doing whatever he needs to do or whatever he's doing, but it does not represent Islam.
I never said it did. I said
no. I'm not saying that.
Beginning, I'm an atheist. I don't believe that there is such a thing as one Islam to begin with. I think that there are various interpretations. So I think that there is a particular interpretation of Islam which exists in the modern world, which does generally produce this kind of murderous extremism.
So Hunter, just to answer you on that, in the modern world, you're right. There's many versions of it, but the version that it's true to us, what we need to go with, once again, is from the Quran and the Hadith. Because when you divert from there, then you get all this, Shia, you get this Ahmadiyya, the one all that you mentioned, right?
Yeah, all the various
And
interpretations you were talking about. Yeah.
so they're going to be coming up with your own explanation, their own ideas of things. Like, for example, there are many people out there who uses the term wife beating to say that it is okay to beat your wife, when that was not what it meant. Okay,
According to who? That was not what it meant according to who?
according to the Quran and according to the Hadith.
So everyone in the
Yes.
world is in complete agreement on what the Quran and the Hadith mean? Of every single Hadith, of every single verse in the
The
Quran?
majority of Muslims.
Everyone is,
90
I didn't say a majority. I said, is everyone in complete agreement on the meaning and interpretation of every verse and every hadith?
I think it's a fallacy to think that everybody will completely agree, because even scientists don't agree on one thing. So we cannot say that everybody has. Yeah, we cannot say the diversity of Islam is that we have opinions, but when it digresses so far, from the principles, the fundamentals, then we can say no, this is not what the Quran and Hadith is saying. The majority will say, the majority who.
The majority of Muslims, the Sunnis,
the majority
the Sunnah,
scholars, the majority scholars, the mainstream.
Okay,
or
this
what we
is
call,
interesting.
or what we refer to as the
Interesting.
Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying
in the
is,
Hadith,
okay.
yes, yeah.
Are you saying that the meaning of all verses and all, hadiths and everything is determined by what a majority of Muslims believe the interpretation to be?
No. The majority of Muslims, we have a methodology of interpreting the Quran
there's a
and
methodology
Hadith,
behind it.
and it's not.
Sure, you have a methodology. I have a methodology. Everyone has a methodology.
Can I finish?
So who's not?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry,
No, can I finish?
Let Kanini finish, all right?
Everybody has a methodology, but the accepted methodology that has been accepted by the Muslims is that we leave it to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, the primary source. And then secondly, it comes from the Quran first. We compare the Quran with the Quran. Then we ask the Prophet Muhammad. We have the hadith to rely on.
Yeah.
Then after that comes the Sahaba, then the Tabi'in. And then that is our methodology. If you veer away from this, then you are taking it away from the methodology. Then after that we come the scholars who give their rulings. So we apply this methodology. We don't have let's just say I come in and I say, oh, I think this is how we interpret the Quran and Hadith. So that is what, when we see the majority agree on this methodology. Do you see where we're coming from?
Okay, so are you saying that everyone who follows I'm assuming you're talking about Orthodox Sunni Islam, right?
Yes, we are. We are all
Are you
Sunnis
saying
here.
that everyone who follows the methodology of Orthodox Sunni Islam comes to the same conclusions? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
They can come to the same conclusion, and they can have dissenting conclusions. So we can accept these concurring and dissenting conclusions by this method.
Okay.
So this is our way. This is the Prophet Muhammad
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also mentioned in one of his hadith that the way of the Muslims who will attain paradise are those who follow the majority. So the majority is according to this methodology that was propounded by him during his time. So we never veer away from this methodology. We try to follow this methodology.
I have a question then. Are you finished?
Sure.
I have a question. So
yes, thank you.
If a majority of people who say that they are Orthodox Sunni scholars came to the conclusion that, I'll use the Ahmadiyya for an example, that there was that what Muhammad actually meant is that there is going to be another prophet, and because of XYZ, would that become valid?
No,
okay,
because that's not from the Sunnah.
Ahmadiyya is the majority ulamas have come to the fatwa, ruling that the Ahmadiyya is a sect. So they have come. They came into the picture in the 1800s. So we don't accept the Ahmadiyya. So maybe in our unit, they are inside the unit. Maybe we don't know, but we have secluded them from our belief. So we don't
consider them to be Muslims actually. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I mean,
Brother Farid
I
is
think
here.
that. Yeah.
Walaikum salam. Brother Farid, if you want to hop on, please do. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
anyway,
I'm
continue.
still hearing that.
But the
it's
ultimate,
human beings
yes.
deciding this. It's human beings deciding whether or not this is the correct interpretation, right? Ultimately.
No. Not at the first point though.
It's not human beings deciding.
Yeah, so it is the Quran, which we believe to be the verbatim word of Allah, and then His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? And he was known as the walking Quran. So we will take it from him, right? And
he's dead.
wait,
you can't ask him.
One second. He has writings, right? He doesn't need to be alive. Okay, come on, bro. You read works from memoirs from other people. Writing can be brought down. The thing is, there are hadiths, which I said, which is recorded down, and we have a system in Islam how it's been recorded down, which is called the isnad. It's called the chain of transmission. Okay, so we know that this person, who he got it from, and then who he got it from, and who he got it from, all the way back to the Prophet. And that's not just the only thing. We also have the biodata of everyone who these things went down. Like, if I were to take something, am I known to be a liar? Am I known to be a deceiver? Do I have any kind of mental problems, right? So then that becomes a category. They categorize the hadith, right? This hadith is weak. This hadith is a fabrication. This hadith is authentic. This hadith is this and so on. So when we look at the authentic hadiths, okay, when we look at that, from there we take our conclusions from there. So if anyone were to come today and say, hey, wait a minute, we don't have to pray 5 times a day. All we need to do is pray 3 times a day. Okay. And let's say someone like me who's a revert, right? I'm a revert, yeah. I would go back to that hadith and I will make sure that the hadith that I'm reading is authentic. Okay, whether it's Bukhari, whether it's Muslim, or so on. And I will look if the Prophet said anything like this during his lifetime. If the Prophet did not say anything like this, I'm going to disregard what this guy has told me about you only have to pray 3 times a day. So that is how it works.
Okay, I have a question. So there are, I'm not an expert on this religion, but there are hadiths which are considered to be weak or inauthentic, right?
Weak and unauthentic. Yeah.
Unauthentic. Okay, and you were saying that one of the ways in which a hadith can be considered unauthentic or weak is that because based on the character of the person who related it, if they're known to be a liar, if they're known to be a thief or whatever, right? Okay, so who made that judgment? Who made that judgment on that person's character?
So it comes from the Prophet, right? Yeah, go ahead, sister, if you want to say anything.
Firstly, when we say weak, da'if, it doesn't mean that it's not authentic. It is authentic. It has been narrated and it can be used. When you say it's inauthentic, it means that it's mawdu', which means it's fabricated. Okay. So on your question again, you're asking what is the basis of it being of that person? The person. Okay. If you study the hadith methodology, in the 200th century, starting from the Prophet Muhammad SAW, the methodology, as Brother Hasimi has said, it has been taught down from one teacher to the next teacher. So it has been compiled in their notes. So around the 200th century, they initiated.
I'm sorry. What is the 200th century?
Hijrah, after the Prophet Muhammad
second century. Sorry, 2nd century Hijrah or 8th century.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We call
well, I don't.
it
Yeah.
8th century CE. Yeah,
Yeah.
8th century will be
I
more
was
accurate,
sorry.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
because
our
second
Islamic
century of the
calendar.
Hijrah, of the Islamic calendar
Yeah.
is 2nd
Okay,
century.
different calendar.
But in the
Yeah,
common
yeah.
era's calendar, it will be
Sorry.
around 8th century, right?
Yeah. Century. The scholars, they didn't break the chain. They went to the teachers, and they obtained the hadith by verifying with the people around them who know the people, and they had to meet the person in real life, and they had to verify it from the peers. So they had to know, did this person ever, they had in fact, there were Bukhari had actually met one of the one of the narrators, and he observed this person, and this person had actually led a horse to the water, and in order to lead the horse to the source of water, he made a lie. He told the horse that he baited the horse, talked to the horse that something lah. So basically he was lying to the horse. Yeah, he was. I mean, when you're talking to your animals, you say, "Come on, come on, come on."
Okay. So he
Not literally,
well,
though.
Come.
A horse doesn't know what water. I mean, a horse can recognize water, but a horse doesn't recognize that you are telling it that there is water in a particular place.
Yeah.
A
But
horse has
that is not
conditioning that makes it react based on the sound of your voice. So I don't think you
correct.
can tell a lie.
Yeah, you're correct. No. My what I'm trying to say is, he was lying to the horse. Whether the horse understood it or not is irrelevant. But he was lying to the horse.
No. Why is that irrelevant?
No. Okay, if you want to make it relevant, it's what I'm trying to say is, in essence, was he lying to the horse? Was he talking, when he was talking to the horse, did he lie? Did he tell the truth?
No. I'm saying no. You can't lie to a horse, because a horse.
Yeah,
is not
but he did lie. He did lie, even though the horse didn't understand. So in essence, when Imam Bukhari noticed this, he disputed his integrity. So if he can lie to a horse, and the horse is not even a human being, what more if he was talking to a human being? Could he probably lie to a human being? So he was rigorous in his method. So that is how they authenticated the a person's integrity. So they went to these lengths. That's what I'm trying to.
I'm sorry.
It was recorded
I don't believe that telling that manipulating a horse, which doesn't understand what you're saying in the first place, is any measure of someone's integrity. I think that's completely irrelevant to the question of whether or not he had integrity. I don't think that telling a lie, I don't think that it is a meaningful definition of a lie of anything you say to an animal, any more than a fictional story that you wrote as a kindergartner means that you're a liar. If I wrote a story about a world where the sky was purple, does that make me a liar? I mean, it can be purple in some cases. If I write a fictional story about a world where there is no sun, does that make me a liar?
Well, it does not make you a liar, but what the sister is trying to say, that if you could do that, then he would not take it from you, because you can say anything.
Okay, well, I don't want to get too much into this issue of the horse, but the point that I was basically trying to make, okay, so I wish that I could say I'm a professional historian. I have taught it in classes, but I'm not a historian, which is a very specific meaning. Historiography is an entire field, and it is very difficult to establish beyond all doubt that anything happened. Well, okay, beyond all doubt. I'm not talking about in a philosophical sense. I'm talking about are we reasonably sure that this actually happened sense? It's very difficult to establish that about anything from earlier than 500 years ago. It's extremely difficult to establish anything happened when it was not recorded in history until a long time later. And yes, I know there's the chain of the chain of relations. This
I was just going to mention that the concept of historical critical method does not apply to Islam or Islamic sciences, because we have our own traditions and our own sciences called the Isnad. And this is collaborated by thousands of followers. All this Isnad, by the way, what the sister mentioned just now about the integrity of a person and everything, this is all recorded in a text called Kitab al-Rijal. Okay, if you translate it, it means the book of men.
I'm saying
the book
recorded.
of men. So each person in the Isnad, they actually have a biography and you could say a psychological profile of that person, whether that person is reliable, whether that person is a liar, has he lied before in the past, is he sound in mind, or all these details are all recorded in this text called Kitab al-Rijal.
Okay.
So we actually, so the historical critical method does not apply to Islamic sciences. So we have our own sciences.
I have a question about that then. So let's talk about the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union had its own specific historical theory. It has its own specific criteria for whether or not something was authentic. And it had its own methods for determining whether any particular person who, let's use Alexander Solzhenitsyn, I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name, that, for example, they would say that all of Alexander Solzhenitsyn's claims of gulags and mass executions and torture and so on were inauthentic, and that he was a man of poor character, that he was, motivated by this and that, terrible grudge against the proletariat or whatever. So they have their own methodology, which declares people unreliable. Do you think that particular individual was unreliable? Assuming you don't know anything about him, do you think that he was unreliable because the historians and scholars of the Soviet Union said he was?
Then he has to be collaborated by third-party sources. Yeah. He has to be collaborated by third-party sources.
I don't understand.
We would also have to have a look into it. We wouldn't want to assess something without. We wouldn't want to assess something without having looked into the sources. So if you put forward your claim that this such and such is not reliable, then we would have to study it and assess whether it's reliable or not. But I invite you to study our hadith litany and make an assessment, an objective assessment, whether what we are saying is true or not, whether it is really based on just shoot and claim. It is really based on a very disciplined science. It's not something that we came up with.
Okay, I have a question for you. Have you examined in detail claims of every other theology and every other historical method that claims to
I'm looking into Christianity. I'm studying Judaism and Christianity. I'm studying Christianity and Judaism at the moment. Hello?
Okay. So, I heard that. I heard that you're studying Judaism and Christianity. Yes, I did hear you. So you're studying Judaism and Christianity. Great. I should probably study the supposed historicity of the Hadiths more, and this is a point I feel the need to make, I don't think that taking the texts themselves and the claims themselves as the only possibly credible source and the only possible way to judge whether or not they're true is a very good idea. I think that when you assess whether or not some claims are true, yes, you should look at what the claims themselves say and what the internal methodology of that particular belief system says. But I also believe that you should look at what critics of it say. I think that you should you should apply critical. You should apply critical methods.
I agree.
So
I agree with you.
So what I'm saying is that there are people who apply critical historiography to the claims that are made in the Hadiths and in the Islamic histories or whatever that are doubtful that it's true. So I don't think that it is. I don't think that it's necessarily true. It may be, but I'm certainly not sure that it's true.
I would invite you to study it though before you do make a claim.
Yeah, maybe you can, look into it. I mean, at your leisure, of course. Yeah,
Okay, sure. I'll tell you what. If I find the time, I can get back to you next week.
Sure. Sure. I'll try to have
that.
Sure.
I'm probably going to go to bed pretty soon.
Sure.
Do you have any other
I don't want to
questions?
keep you from your bed.
No,
I think I'm pretty much done. If you have anything else, maybe you want to share, or if you want to keep it for next week, it's up to you.
One thing before you go, Hunter.
Maybe
Okay. So you said like study other claims, right? So I've actually studied Christianity. I studied it philosophically, theologically, and all that. And so you've got people like Daniel Wallace, who's one of the most trusted, one of the biggest name in Christian theology, right? You've got James G.G. Dunn, right, and you've got Bruce Masker, and I can name other of these people. So they, even though that they are still Christians, right, still Trinity believing Christians, what they have concluded is, number one, we don't know who wrote the Gospels, the Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, right? We don't know who wrote them. These names were given to these Gospels at the late 2nd century. Number one. Number two, the most earliest Gospel that we have, the Bible that we have of the New Testament, it is called the Codex Sinaiticus in the British Museum. That comes from the 4th century, right? It has got verses that are not in there that later Bible today has, like for example, story of the adulterous woman, right? The one without sin cast the first stone, right? Not in the 4th century. 1 John 5:7, I think there are 3 that bear witness in heaven: the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Not in the early century manuscript. So from that itself is already clear evidence that we don't know what and where that we can trust the Bible anymore.
Okay.
People have played around with the Bible, so we don't know what Jesus really said. Did he really say it or not, or someone just put it in there, So that itself, we can discredit it already, because now there's no way of saying anything, right?
I would disagree with that. So I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
But the fact that there may be incorrect claims in the Bible doesn't mean that every claim in the Bible is incorrect.
No, true. I agree with you. I'm not saying the entire Bible, right? I'm not saying the entire Bible. I'm just saying we cannot take the whole Bible and say this is the word of God exactly, and it's never been changed, right? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, every educated Muslim would say there are still remnants of what is supposed to be there, right? We just don't know which it is. If you go ahead and look at, I don't know if you know her name. This is a scholar, right? And she is, she's not a Christian. I don't know if she's an atheist or not. I don't know, right? But she's not a Christian, neither is she a Muslim. And her name is Angelica Newworth. Angelica Newworth. Right? And she studied thoroughly the Quran. And when she was interviewed on the Quran, she, the authenticity of the Quran, she said there is no mention of it at all, and the Quran is the way it's supposed to be. The words in it are and the verses in it are authentic, and we can definitely hold precedence to. I've just given you a non-Muslim a scholar, so maybe you can check.
So my response to that would be whether or not we can be certain. I mean, I'll take it for granted that that we can be reasonably certain that this particular group of people are in fact the ones who wrote down the Quran, and that it has not been changed over the last 1,300 years. That doesn't really tell me anything about the trustworthiness of the people who wrote it.
Okay, but it tells you about what. Go ahead.
There is still a book, Ilmu Rijal, if I'm not mistaken, Alfie, for the Quran, isn't it, Alfie? They
Not
have
sure. I
it's
don't think
not
so. I think Kitab Rija is meant for the hadith. Yeah, it's only meant for the
so.
hadith. Yeah,
But
but I think it's
similar
part of
in
it.
the
But it's part of it.
in the
There's also
yeah.
in the transmission of the Quran. There's also isnad for the transmission of the Quran. How because you see, you need to understand that the Quran is not just preserved in text, but it's also primarily preserved by memory. Okay, in the hearts of men.
Right.
This is why the Quran is distinguished from the Bible, because the Bible, if we were to take every single copy of the Bible and we burn it to the ground, there won't be any, and there's no copies left. Nobody will be able to reproduce it. Okay.
I don't
Whereas
think
if we
that's
do
true.
this, that's up to the debate. Okay. But basically, in the Quran, for the Quran, if we were to burn every single copy of the Quran in the world, every single copy, I mean every single thing, digital copy, you delete it, we can still reproduce the Quran in 1 hour's time, inshallah,
Okay.
because there are so many memorizers of the Quran. Okay.
Sure.
But you can't do the same for the Bible. It doesn't work that way for the Bible.
So
Nobody
again,
memorizes the Bible for
I don't think I ever. Sorry, I don't think I ever said that I am particularly skeptical that the text of the Quran has been preserved over all this time. I think there is, in fact, a certain degree. I'm not sure if it's complete consensus, but there's a general consensus that is the case, that the text was preserved. I'm saying that I don't necessarily see a reason to believe all of the claims of the people who originally wrote it, and I don't necessarily believe the claims that were used to judge whether or not person X, person Y, the guy who lied to the horse, for example. I'm sorry, that seems ridiculous to me. Is a reason to we're going to throw his text out of the Quran because of something he did with his horse.
No, hadith actually. Hadith is different from Quran.
Yeah, I didn't mean Quran is different than Quran. All right, sure.
Yes.
The Quran is separate, but again, you're not a Quranist, are you? I'm certain.
No, I'm not.
So,
I'm not.
No, we're all Sunnis.
I accept.
We're
all Sunnis.
I'm approaching this from a political, ideological standpoint. I would say that most of the ideological content of Islam is in the Hadiths, not the Quran. Right? Is that fair to say?
No, not really, because we believe in both.
No.
Okay.
We believe in both.
I don't mean about whether or not God exists. I don't mean about you need to.
No, I mean ideological, political, sociological, financial, whatever you want to put at the back. Okay, it derives from both sources.
Okay, but
it's not a case of more or than or less than. It's both are equal to us.
Okay, so they're equal. Fair enough. So
in the sense of let me explain this. In the sense of the Quran is the word of God. Of course, this is the most superior text. But there needs to be someone to interpret the text, right? And we believe that the Prophet ﷺ is the best interpreter for the text, and therefore the words of the Prophet and his actions and how he interprets the Quran is in the text is in the collection or the body of reports which we call the Hadith. Okay. And then, and whatever actions of the Prophet we derive from is called the Sunnah. Okay, the Sunnah is derived from the Hadith. The Hadiths are basically the reports of the actions and the words of the Prophet. And the Prophet is the only authority to understand and interpret the Quran. So, it's not to say,
you can't ask him.
He's dead.
You can't ask him what the correct interpretation is. That's kind of the point that I was getting at from the beginning here.
Yes, he's dead, but he's passed away. But the point is,
that's the anti-hadith argument. I know where you got that from. That's the anti-hadith argument.
I mean, frankly, if I'm being honest, I probably have a much more positive opinion of Quranists than I do of a lot of other interpretations of Islam.
You can actually, then you have to ask them this, right?
Yeah,
you have to ask them
we can discuss this, but it's going to take away your bedtime.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
That's best saved for another time.
I
understand.
It's a very long topic. Yeah, it's a very long topic.
Mr.
We can't just explain it away.
I guess I understand what you were saying there. Was there anything else you wanted to know about that or to say about that?
Yeah, maybe we can save it for another time. I don't want to keep you away from your bedtime. I know it's very late. I know it's very late at your place. I don't want to keep you if you.
I'll just
maybe Nini for the last time. Yeah, before he leaves.
But just one thing, I just want to say that the miracle of the Quran is that if, let's just say a young child who can read was to read the Quran, they can understand it. They can understand. They wouldn't have questions like they can understand reading the Quran. They can understand what is read in the Quran. If you just try this test on a child that can read the Quran. Ask them to read it and ask them, do they understand what is being written there? If they can understand, that means it's simple to understand. But if you give it to a professor, can they understand it also? They can. They can understand it. So that's the miracle, you see, of the Quran. It can appeal to all age groups. And the book, yet, if you study the Arabic, you can come up with a lot of hidden knowledge that we don't know. So once again, I invite you to study the Quran, especially if you have time, study Arabic, because there are a lot of nuances. So you will be able to see where we are coming from before you make give yourself this chance to study it objectively, instead of instead of coming up with an assumption from people whom we don't accept, like the Quranists or the Ahmadiyyas. Come from it from an intellectual, objective angle, and then before come to your own assessment. That is my invitation to you.
Okay, thank you. My response to that would be, let's consider the book Harry Potter. Can Harry Potter be understood by children? Yes. Can Harry Potter be studied
Yes,
by professors?
that's the
Goodness, yes.
miracle.
It's been studied.
You see,
It's been
yes,
studied. Yeah. So
yes,
I'm a fan of the
yes,
series, by the
yes.
way.
So
It's
I'm a
terrible.
fan
Yeah,
too.
so am I.
Uh,
So am I.
I, yeah. So what I
That's the
want to say,
miracle
Hunter,
of the revelation.
Right. Okay. I'll do some more studying on it, and
one
maybe
second.
I'll come back
So Hunter, what I want to say is that
yeah.
I really hope you could come back. I
Sure.
want to continue the discussion we actually started with the whole thing, right? The
That was
singularity,
an
the
interesting
existence of
discussion.
reason and everything. I really want to have that conversation. So if you could, I don't know, email, MENJ, set a time or something like that, where it will be convenient for you and for us, because like are you in the US?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
Yes.
you are like 13 hours behind Malaysia, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't start work until the afternoon, which is why I'm not. I was able to do this in the first place. So
Okay.
Cool. So if you could
Thank you.
email Matt and we can set up a proper time for the both of us, like I would really, really want to go really deep into that with you, if you don't mind.
sure. I'll see if I can find the time for that. All right.
Sure.
Thank you,
Is
Hunter.
that all for now? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for your
thank you
time.
so
Thank you
much.
for coming onto the show.
Sure.
It's very good to
Thank
have
you
a
for
chat
your
with you.
input.
Thank you, Hunter.
Hopefully, we can have more discussions in the future, inshallah.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Hunter.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay. See you. Same to you. Oh, okay. That was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, very
Wow.
interesting.
If
I
he
think
really
he is good. I think he was very sincere.
Yeah.
I
I think
saw a
I can
little
see
bit
that he
of
was sincere.
I saw a little bit of
I
arrogance over there, but
yeah,
I guess
I
that's
believe
just,
he was looking for answers. Yeah, I mean, I know atheists who are much
No,
more
but did you
brilliant than
guys
him, right?
did you guys
Yeah.
notice did you guys notice that he actually agreed on the first stage of contingency argument, like there needs to be something an outside power? Did you
Yeah.
guys notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Right?
I did. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
notice that. Yeah.
I think this guy, I think we can, yeah. I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
I think we can have a,
I think it's
He's a nice
pleasant that having
guy.
a, yeah,
Yeah,
I think
he's a
it's nice
nice
to have a
person.
conversation, and I hope if Hunter, by the way,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, I hope you'll come next week. Inshallah, there will be the show will, will continue
I
next
don't
week
know for the
if
brothers
I'm
and
not too
sisters
busy.
in the chat, right? I don't know if you guys. I think I've seen him in EA Dawah or EF Dawah or Hamza Den or something like this. Correct me if I'm
Okay,
wrong, but I believe I've seen him one of these streams before.
platforms.
Yeah,
Okay,
one of
okay.
the, I believe so.
He is the first
Might be
time him joining
doppelganger,
here,
I
so
don't
I
know.
wouldn't know. Yeah, it's
Might
the
be his
first time him
doppelganger, I
joining
don't
here.
know.
Yeah. So this is the first time for
But
everything,
to
right?
compare Harry Potter with the Quran just shows that he doesn't understand. Like I'm not going to insult him, right? But when you compare the Quran to Harry Potter, you don't understand what we're talking about. You just don't understand.
Yeah. Actually, Tijam tried that on me as well. He tried that on me. He said that there was one point where I, in an earlier debate, not the debate on Aisha, but the debate on the existence of God, I cited the Quran as evidence. I said that the Quranic language the Arabic is such that it cannot be, uh, copied or it cannot be replicated by a human being. Then he started comparing with Harry Potter. So yeah,
Bro,
So I
let's
think
not talk about Tijam, man.
this
Tijam
seems
has a
to be
mental problem.
yeah, this seems to be a I don't know, this seems to be a common trait among atheists. So maybe we need to look into the reason why they're so fascinated with Harry Potter.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Right? I'll tell you why. Let me just say this. Right? Let me just say this, right? Sis Nini and Alfie. So look,
Sorry,
coming from the
MENJ,
other
bro.
side as a coming from the other side as a non-Muslim, right?
Yeah,
For a non-Muslim,
yeah.
showing them that the Quran is preserved, authentic, and nothing has changed, and they saying that, hey, look, wait, Harry Potter is not changed, it's preserved, it's this and that and so on.
Yeah.
Did you know there are two versions of Harry Potter? The English of Harry Potter in the US and the English of Harry Potter in the UK.
Oh, it's different,
There's
right?
two
Yeah, the
versions,
spelling is
man.
different, right? Yeah, the spelling is different. Yeah. Right. That's true. That's
So you
true. Yeah, I
can't
never
say
thought of that. I never
it.
thought of that. Yeah, and the title is so different. Like
Yes.
for example,
This
the
meaning
first
would
book
know
is
this,
called
right?
in
Yeah.
the UK it's called the Philosopher's Stone, but in the US it's Sorcerer's Stone, right? It's a different name.
I
No,
think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
he
yeah.
missed
I just
my
remembered.
point though. I
Yeah.
think he missed the
I just
point. I
remembered.
mean,
Sorry, let
even
me
though
get a drink.
well, I think he's correct to say that the readability is the same as Harry Potter, but in terms of what we can obtain from the Harry Potter, can we get theological understanding? Can we get knowledge, scientific things that we can corroborate? You know,
Yeah,
I mean that
yeah.
that is the miracle of the Quran. You see,
what they're going to say
whereas
is,
in Harry Potter, it's a story,
what
even
they're
though
going to
it
say
is
is,
readable.
It's a fiction. It's a
yeah,
fiction.
you know what they're going to say is,
Yeah.
they're going to say this, right? They're going to say, hey, Harry Potter talks about the Eye of England, right? The Eye of London. Oh, and look, the Eye of London really exists, right? In circles. Wow, so this is real, right? The thing is,
Yeah.
Harry Potter does not talk about embryology in detail. Harry Potter does not talk about your skin having a different, pain receptors. Okay,
Yes.
Harry Potter
Yes.
don't talk about all those things. Okay, so
He
it's
Yes.
doesn't
not
know,
even
he
the same
doesn't
thing.
prophesize either. He doesn't
Yeah.
Exactly.
prophesize
Yeah.
that the fall of the empires,
The
like
Roman
in Surah
Empire,
Ar-Rum.
The
yeah.
Roman
Yeah.
Empire, the Romans. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and come on. So the thing is, I'm going to assert an assumption here that Hunter does not know that the Quran talks about all this, right? And if he knew, then he would probably not, try to equate it with Harry Potter, because then that would be pretty ridiculous if he did that.
I don't know what is with this atheist infatuation with Harry Potter, because this is not the first time I heard this argument comparing the Quran to Harry Potter. I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, there's actually 8 people right now watching this stream, and I don't know why. None of them are coming online. Okay, I think Kak Nini says that she has to go. Yeah. Okay, if you're going to
Yeah,
go,
I
okay,
got to go.
okay, Ukti, okay, Ukti, see you
Yeah,
next week, I hope.
thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, inshallah,
all right. So,
inshallah.
okay, nice to
Yeah,
have you here, by
thank
the
you.
way. Assalamualaikum.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Assalamualaikum,
Yes.
everyone.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullah.
warahmatullahi
Yes.
wabarakatuh.
All right. Right. Okay. So yeah. Okay, Kak Nini has to go. Okay. I'm actually getting
Who's
a lot of
in just now,
comments
right?
here.
There was someone who came in just now for a while we were discussing with Hunter earlier about the
Yeah, there
whole
was
contingent.
yes. There was someone who came in, but then that person left. I don't know what happened to him or her.
He was talking something about like why Islam is okay, but the Hindu God is not okay, or something like that
Fact,
behind the chat.
call himself or herself factor about. No, the question is, on what basis can you say that the Prophet's miraculous journey to heaven was real, but Krishna lifting a mountain on his finger wasn't? So he's trying to compare the stories in the Quran with that of the Hindu mythology. Yeah. So then you need to
Where did
prove
it go?
that Krishna really exists, right? You need to prove that
Where
Krishna
did it
is a
go?
historical
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah. I think when we were talking with two hunters, I think he just got fed up and left. Too long, right? Okay, he just left because of that. Yeah. I did
Hey,
tell
bro,
him that he can join in after. Yeah. So.
you want to see this, bro? Everyone, for all the brothers are looking, you want to see this?
Oh wow! Alaikum. Peace be upon you.
Peace
Salam
be upon
alaikum.
you.
Peace.
Yeah, so peace be
Salam
upon
alaikum.
you, right? Yeah. So we have it in, I have it in Tamil. I don't know if you can
Mm.
do it. So this is this is Tamil right here, right? And then
Oh, cool.
Chinese, and then
It's Mandarin,
Chinese.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Mandarin.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh man,
Mm.
yeah, Chinese here, right? And then we have it in Arab as well. I keep pointing to the wrong side of the video, man.
That side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
Where
good.
do I
If
get
you guys wanna,
where do I get Aki, where do I get the shirt? I want the shirt. I want the shirt. I want to buy a shirt. Wow, Hidayah Center. Okay, can you get me a shirt? My
yeah,
size is
man.
double triple XL.
Yeah,
My
sure,
size
bro.
triple
I
XL.
love this shirt, man. I love this shirt. It looks
I'll
really
give you
good.
one of this. I'll give you one of this for free, by the way. I have this.
All right, bro.
I
I'll
only
give you
have
one
this.
of this for free, and you give me one of that for free. It works
Yeah,
out.
I'll give you one of this. I'll give you one of this for free. All right? Yeah.
It works out, bro. Works out.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
maybe next week, Aki. Maybe next week. All right?
Next week,
Yeah. So
inshallah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So by the way, I'll share with your viewers, right? So we just had a earlier from today. I had a
Yeah.
debate with an
Yes.
atheist. It's
Yeah.
recorded under the Muslim Apologetics in collaboration with Kum Academy,
Yeah.
which is a apologetics academy here in Malaysia. Yeah, that teaches in-depth atheism and Christianity. Of course, one of our Christianity lecturer, the head of Christianity lecturer, is our brother over here, the Muslim Apologetics, right? So that was really good because we couldn't really. I mean, I couldn't really like expand on my question and answer with him because he was very sincere and he's super nice guy, man. Like this is the first atheist that I would meet and say that wow, this guy is super nice, bro. Right? The thing is, he agreed on everything leading up to God, and when you say God, oh no. Like he literally agreed on every single point. You were there, you were the moderator, you were there, right? Every single point, and when you say that this is God, done. It's God. It's finished. Anyway, you're gonna be putting up the recording, right?
Yeah. I'll send you the recording soon, inshallah.
Okay, so if the recording will be on YouTube, obviously, on Muslim Apologetics, and also on Kum Academy.
On a different channel, on a different channel, but under the TMA, okay, under Muslim Apologists, yes.
So both of it, lah. You can go and see at both of it. Having another debate with another atheist. So it's going to be every Sunday in the morning for 5 Sundays, and it would be coming out to the 2 most famous atheists. I'm not going to mention the name, right? Then that would be live, right? The last 2. So this is the first. Next week is going to be another one, and then another one, and then it comes to the 2 most famous so-called atheists, right?
Okay.
That's going to be live, and if you guys want to join, do please, because it's going to be good. You're going to like it, inshallah.
Yeah, I'll announce it on my channel. Okay, I'll announce it on my channel if we are going to host it live. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So still waiting for someone to come onto the stream, but no one is coming on. Although currently we are having 7 views. Okay, 7. It's quite a lot. Okay, it's quite a lot. This week is a lot of people. Usually I'll get like 4 or 5, but today, alhamdulillah, there's like 7. At one point there was 10, 11. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's quite good.
There is a way that you could do it, but I mean, I was told about this technique to bring people onto the stream, but I wouldn't do it because it's a waste of my time. But maybe if you want to do it, it's so what happens is this: you go to Facebook, Twitter, right? Facebook, Twitter, all the social media platforms, right?
Okay.
And when you're hosting a live Q&A like this, right? You just post it into the groups like Facebook, atheist groups, right? Just post it there. Live Q&A, Muslim Apologetics, live now. Click and come on, right? So you're going to be having like a lot of crowd in that way. Right, so you go to Christian Facebook groups and just say live happening right now, Q&A answer versus Christian or versus Islam, whatever it is. I'm just saying, right? And click it right now, come on board or something like that, and you'll probably get more things like that. But although you have to keep one thing in mind: the atheists and the Christians coming from Facebook chat, right? Don't expect them to be intelligent, bro, because the most
trolls,
probably
right?
they're not going to be. Right, I'm not saying all of them are not intelligent, right? I'm saying most probably the ones that are going to jump on are going to ask you ridiculous questions, right? Like
Understood.
our friend Hunter, I'm not saying it's ridiculous, but to
Hunter
say, hey, you know
intelligent.
what?
There's no
Maybe
doubt about it.
something could come out of nothing.
But Hunter is intelligent. Actually, I noticed that he's a bit different from the atheists that I face. Yeah,
Exactly.
he's nothing like Tijam. I mean, he's nothing like Tijam or Godless Girl. Okay, I mean, those two are intolerable. Okay. So
No, I
have a question.
was really pressing on the idea if something can come out of nothing. I really want to press in on that idea, bro, because he was talking about quantum fields and all that. All these are already something. They are already something, right?
Exactly.
And before it,
But
there is something.
Yeah, maybe he's struggling to accept. That's why, right? So anyway, there's this question. This is an interesting question from Daf Zaim. Muslim apologist. Pineapple on pizza. Halal or makruh?
Why?
If you're asking me honestly, I don't really mind if pineapple is on my pizza. All right, I know that some
I don't
people
know,
hate,
man. Depends on Pizza Hut, bro. Depends on Pizza Hut, man.
Actually, honestly speaking, pineapple on pizza actually tastes nice. Okay, I do
Some
like
people
it,
don't
but I
like
don't
it.
have a. Yeah, I know some people hate it. In fact, they say it's a travesty against pizza. Okay, but for me, I don't really care. Okay.
I don't like pineapple in my I don't like pineapple in my Assam laksa, bro.
And then he says, "Boo! Yeah, I don't care." I know you may hate me for saying this, but honestly, I don't mind if pineapple is on my pizza. Okay. Either way, I don't really mind. I'm as long as it's not meat or pork, I can eat anything. All right, or fish. Okay, I can't eat three things: pork, obviously, because I'm a Muslim. We are all Muslims. Meat, beef, I cannot eat beef because I have gout, and fish because I hate fish. Okay.
Well, let me
And
ask you
other
this
than
then.
that, I can absolutely eat anything.
Can you
Anything.
eat
Oh yeah, by
crocodile?
the way, mutton. By the way, mutton. I can't eat mutton also. Okay, but
Can you
other
eat
than that,
crocodile?
I'm totally open.
Can you eat crocodile?
I haven't tried eating crocodile, but I believe there is some mazhab which allow for crocodile meat, by the way. But I don't ascribe to that. I don't eat crocodile. Okay, I don't want to try even crocodile. I don't want to try crocodile. I'm sorry. Okay.
I've not eaten crocodile as well,
Okay.
bro. I don't know.
Okay, right. Okay, so there's this quote trader, Jazakallah khairan wa
Why
salam
yakum,
alaikum.
brother?
Waalaikum salam. Why didn't you come onto the stream? I was wondering why you didn't come onto the stream.
Who's this? Who's Cold Treasure? Is it Cold Treasure?
I don't know. I think it's Cold Treasure. Yeah, I don't know. It's a brother. It's a new brother. I've never seen him before. Actually, I think he's a new subscriber. I guess. So I've never seen him before. That's Zaim. Crocodile. Yeah, there is some madhabs which actually say crocodile is allowed. Crocodile meat is allowed. Okay, but I don't ascribe to that because I don't know. I just don't feel like I want to eat crocodile.
I've actually, where I got this idea from, like in the Philippines. I've seen so many people like cooking crocodile and serving it up like it was a gourmet dish or something like that, right?
Oh my, okay.
So I was like, I actually did comment on one of the pictures, and Allah Akbar, the guy actually answered my comment and said, I asked him how does crocodile taste like, and like chicken. So I was like, okay, then I will just stick with chicken then. If it tastes the same, right? I'll just stick with chicken.
Okay, I think Davzaim is asking a fake question. Okay, even when crocodile is both a born predator of two realms. No, a crocodile is actually considered to be part of the sea. Okay, it cannot survive on land. Okay, it's not.
Well, it can't be on the sea, bro. It can't be in the sea, right?
It's not really amphibian. It's more ocean. Okay, so there is some opinion from I don't remember which madhab. There is one madhab which says that crocodile can be eaten. Okay, even the reason that because some people say, oh, why this madhab says that crocodile is allowed because it eats humans or whatever. That is not their natural meat. Okay, their natural food. Their natural food source are fishes. Okay, so if their natural food source are fishes and not meat, therefore they cannot be considered to be a pure predator. Okay, so this is the opinion of the madhab in question. I'm sorry, I can't remember the madhab. I'm not a fixed scholar, but I've come across this issue before. So I'm just answering to the best of my memory. If you want more details, please ask your scholar or your ustaz, or maybe you can ask it next week. I'll try to research it again. Okay. But this is what I understand. This is my understanding. Okay, I could be wrong. By the way, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then I stand corrected. Okay, but this is what I understand. Okay.
We don't make up things about this kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to make up things. Yeah, because I'm just quoting from memory. This is something which someone asked a long time ago. This was like, I think someone asked this question 10 years ago, and I saw this in a forum, and then Ustaz answered this question with my answer right now. I'm just repeating the same answer. Okay. So, but if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. Okay. Yeah, that's all.
By the way, guys, the brothers and sisters in the chat, take a look at this. So this is Sheikh Osman Farouk, yeah? And he's coming to Malaysia.
Osman Farouk.
Right? And he's coming to Malaysia.
Yes.
This is the day he's coming to UITM, okay? So if you guys are interested in meeting Sheikh Osman Farouk, sitting down, having a chat with him, right? Yeah, this is one of it. So he's going to be here for a week. This is on the 4th, right? This is on the 4th. We have another one where he's doing over here. So this one is in Putrajaya. This is on the 5th. I don't know if you guys can see it. Is it clear enough?
Yes. Okay, it's clear. Oh, by the way, brother Aladdin, Assalamualaikum Ustaz Aladdin. He said Maliki said that it's halal to eat crocodile.
Oh, okay.
So Madhab Maliki. Okay, so Madhab Maliki. Maliki said it's halal to eat crocodile. Yeah, so I think it's Madhab Maliki. Yes, that's right.
Maliki,
but like I said, I'm not a fiqh scholar. Okay, so I think if you want to ask more, or you want to ask more questions, you can ask Brother Aladdin. Brother Aladdin, I know he's a sheikh in fiqh. You can ask him.
Inshallah, we should, bro. We should, like, we can't speculate on these things, like, and that's what Hunter was asking, if everybody said this. So if he understands how Islam works, then it'll be better. He will understand it better.
So
we don't just speculate things just because we like it.
Exactly. So Zain said, what? Sheikh Umar is coming here to Malaysia? The answer is yes, he's coming to Malaysia.
Yes,
by the way, when's the date? What's the date again? Okay, I forgot. I think you mentioned it.
So we have this. Guys, by the way, he's represented by Hidayah Center. So I'm the consultant for Hidayah Center. So you can get it directly to me for me. So, okay. So one is on the 4th.
Okay.
Okay, Saturday 9:30 on the 4th. Tell you what, I will share this poster with the Muslim apologetics apologist, and maybe you can put it out today. Yeah.
Okay.
Apologies.
Right, okay.
And the other one is on the 5th.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So it's going to be here from the 1st of March till the 7th of March. Sorry, the first. The 1st till the 8th. The 1st till the 8th, right?
Okay.
And he's going to be giving lectures. He's going to be giving a lot of things. He's going to be talking about his experience. If you guys don't know, Sheikh Osman used to be a gangster. If you guys don't know, right? And I'm not talking about
that. Yeah, he kind of indicated that in his previous talks.
Okay. So I'm not talking about a gangster who steals candy from the shop. Yeah, and that's the reason why David Wood. Yeah, that's why David Wood and Shem Shomon, they were running away from him literally.
Sam Shomon literally just bumped his and then ran away. That coward.
Right?
He just bumped his and then he ran off. He just went to another side.
But that was in his past, Alhamdulillah, mashallah, the knowledge that he has, it's not every day that we get to meet someone with so much of knowledge, so much of experience,
Yeah. Brother Aladdin is asking a question.
Yeah.
He's saying, what's your channel?
It's Qum, Qoom Academy. So Qum Academy.
Yes.
And the word Qum, because I don't know why people tend to think Qum is from Shia, maybe because of the place in Iran or something like that. But the word Qum, we took it from Qum Fa'anzir. Qum Fa'anzir. It's from the Quran, right? It stands right, right? To proclaim the greatness of your Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
So, mashallah. So, I know you guys, like, if you are free, if you're not free, if you could make time, come make your time, because Sheikh Osman is not going to be coming here every single day. So when you have someone like Sheikh Osman, you want to be there, right? You want to listen to him. Yeah, you want to listen to him. You want to
I'll
take
try
down
to come, inshallah, if I'm not busy, or if it's
Inshallah, bro.
possible to
Inshallah.
make the time. Who knows? Maybe he will want to come here. I don't know, this studio. I don't know. Maybe you can
MashaAllah,
arrange
brother. I
something.
don't know. Inshallah, inshallah.
If you can arrange something, let's see. Okay, I don't know whether he will come
I've
here.
seen his
Let's see.
schedule. I've seen his schedule. Like for 7 days here in Malaysia, I've seen his schedule, and MashaAllah, wow, I don't know how this guy keeps up, man. Like Subhanallah, man, Allah bless him, bro, because wow, he's super busy.
Oh, Brother Aladdin said Qum is one of the strongest of the
Okay,
Rafidah in Iran.
that's
It's
the
an
reason
island.
why.
Yeah. But it's not that Qum. Okay, it's not the Qum of the city Qum in Iran, but this is Qum from the Quran. Qum fa'an. I think you know this verse. Okay, I don't even have to tell you, right? So
Yeah.
but Sheikh Aladdin, by the way,
That's
he
the
has been
reason
very
why
good
people tend to
very
say,
good
"Oh,
in
cool
online
is here
debates.
now."
Yeah.
Okay. I understand now.
That's right. I don't know, bro. Maybe you need to. I don't know. Maybe you should consider changing the name
No, I'll
because it
just put it.
causes a lot of confusion.
I'll just put the whole like I don't know, like kumpanzir, man. It's kumpanzir. So
I
kum is like
know, but it causes. I
you know,
know, but it causes confusion, right? So I don't know. Maybe you should. Maybe if it causes too much confusion, then maybe you can
maybe
do that.
inshallah,
But I don't
yeah.
know. But for now, I think it's fine. Okay, because it's not
Yeah.
quite spread yet.
I'm not.
The
So I'm
confusion.
going on the
Yeah.
record. I'm going on record and saying I'm not Shia. I'm Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah. Okay, I'm a Sunni, right?
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Yeah, I know
I'm
that
not
Brother
any
Smith
of
is
this shit,
definitely Al Sunnah.
inshallah, right?
Yeah, I can vouch that Brother Smith is a Sunni. Okay. Yeah. And
Alhamdulillah.
Brother Smith is actually there's an impending marriage. By the way, congratulations to our
Oh,
brother
me
soon.
too.
He's getting hitched, inshallah, next month.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Summa
So
alhamdulillah.
that's also one thing. Okay. So you better count your bachelor days because you're going to miss them soon. Okay.
Well, you know what Allah says, that He will increase, right? He will increase the mercy, right? And all that He wants to give to someone who legally is married, right?
Yes,
With
that's
his
right.
spouse, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And also, right? We know in Islam, getting married completes half of the deen.
Yes, definitely.
So, mashallah,
Brother Aladdin asked you this question. You lost so much weight, you don't remember me, do you? He's asking whether you remember him.
I remember you, Akhi, from Kenny Boomer, right? From Kenny Boomer.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Let's see whether
Kenny
he
Boomer.
replies.
I've seen you, Kenny Boomer. I've seen you on Clubhouse, Akhi. I've seen you on Clubhouse as well.
Yeah, I think
Akhi,
he's active everywhere. Yeah.
I was sick for a couple of months, so food was quite. I didn't take too much, a lot of food. I had no, how can I put this? There are a lot of people that were jealous. There are a lot of people who are jealous, right? Because we are doing this da'wah and all that, and human beings are just in such ways, right? They can't accept the truth, so and they can't face you, so they resort to black magic and stuff, and all that. So, but alhamdulillah, I'm okay now. It was a test for me. And Allah showed me, if I had any doubts in the ghaib, Allah definitely showed me that they exist. Okay, definitely exist.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it was a test for me, alhamdulillah, and I'm okay now. I'm still back on my feet now, alhamdulillah, and I'm going to do whatever I can in my life to earn the mercy of Allah. Because at the end of the day, okay, it's not about the per se, right? It's not about the da'wah. It's not about all this. It's about, we are doing all this, the da'wah, the salat, right? The charities, all to earn Allah's mercy. To earn Allah's mercy, right? Doing the da'wah to earn Allah's mercy. So, that's what I'm going for. Okay. So I will do whatever I need to do, whatever Allah has instructed His creations to do to earn His mercy, right? So, and I employ that all of us should keep on doing that, keep on doing that. Really.
Of course.
Yeah. But you are right.
Definitely.
I did lose weight. Yeah.
Yeah, but by the
So
way,
you
he
see,
says he
after
has not gone. By the way, he says that he has not gone to the clubhouse. So I don't know. He's maybe I think you met him on Kelly Bomber. Let me see.
Kenny Boma, right?
Yeah, but he said. Yeah, he said I met you with brother Kenny and in Dawa Wise channel.
Okay.
I guess
Yeah,
that
okay.
explains it then. Yeah.
But I think
Explains it. Yeah,
someone
it's
is
good.
using your name then, okay, in Clubhouse. If it's not you, someone is using your name in Clubhouse then.
No, that's interesting.
That's true,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Because
Uh,
I was quite active in Clubhouse as well. So I did see your name, okay, Ali. And also the
okay.
Muslim matter position was there and so on, yeah. How much do you know
Someone is
about
asking how much do you know about
historical
historical civil? I'm
civilization?
not sure who this question is for, whether it's for me or for you. Not sure. Not sure. I
Historical,
guess I know.
what
I know
historical
a bit.
civilization? What does he mean by that?
How much do you know about historical civilization? You mean the history of civilizations? Maybe
I
that's
don't
what
know.
he meant.
Come up and let us know what you're saying, man. It's quite a broad spectrum
I don't know.
question.
I don't know. This is a Muslim brother, by the way. I
Yeah,
don't know
come up,
why
okay,
he's
and
asking this.
ask your, yeah.
I don't know why he's asking. Brother Aladdin says I've never been to Clubhouse, so I don't know. Yeah, it could be someone impersonating you. I don't know. Yeah, it could be that. Yeah.
No, it's not impersonating.
Yeah.
It's a brother as well. It's a brother as well. It's a brother as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe another
maybe
person by the name of
yeah,
Aladdin. Who knows? Yeah.
yeah,
It could be
yeah,
someone
yeah.
with the same name. I mean,
Yes,
then
yes.
Aladdin is not really an uncommon name. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Then there's you should join the arena if Dawah streams more often. No, not at this moment. Okay, no, I'm sorry, no. Let's put it this way: I have issues with them. Okay, yeah, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay, so anyway, that's the reason why I have this because I don't need them. Okay, I have my own channel. Okay, so why do I need them? Okay, if you want to listen to me talk for 2 hours, then this is the place, inshallah, right? Or maybe
I've got
modern
a
day
question.
dawah. Sorry,
I've got a
modern day
question.
debate. Sorry,
Actually, I've
yeah,
got a
modern day
question.
debate.
Since
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Brother Aladdin is here, I don't know, Akhi, if you can
Yeah,
come up for a while. I've got a question, right? So the question is
yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
The question is
yeah.
this. So
Brother Aladdin,
during the
please come onto the stream, right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the question is this, Akhwat. The question is this: is it true that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbid writing down the Quran during the time he was giving, he was receiving the revelation? Right? He forbade
That's a good
anybody
question.
from writing down the Quran. Okay, is this true? And how come then the companions, put it down in text? I just want to know how did it work at that time? Was it at a certain period of time that the Prophet forbid the companions writing down, or was it throughout the whole time?
Oh, he
Oh,
said
okay,
that he's
okay.
in his shop and he's crowded. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't think he can join us today. Unfortunately, but maybe Aki, I don't know. Maybe you can answer the question. It's a very interesting question. I hope that you can answer it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Was it a certain time that the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, forbid it, or if he even forbid it, or no, or was it like during another time, so on? He forbid to
Okay, he
write
just answered the
hadith,
hadith, not the
the
Quran.
hadith, not the Quran. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe brother Aladdin, just to continue what brother Hasmit asked, why is there a reason why the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam forbade writing the hadiths, and if so, then why do we still have the hadiths written in written form? Doesn't that mean that we are contradicting the Prophet? I'm just curious to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a reason for this. Maybe there's a reason why the companions
Because the
decided to
hadith,
record the
what we
hadiths.
know is
Yeah.
the hadith was taken directly from word by word what the Prophet said, right?
So that they will not mix the Quran with
That makes sense,
hadiths.
yeah.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. Okay, all right. Okay, so the reason why the Prophet forbade the writing of hadith is so that it doesn't mix with the writing of the Quran.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
otherwise,
during the time the
yeah.
Prophet was speaking something, they had to they had to write it down, right?
They can memorize it, bro.
Yeah,
They don't have to write it down.
because it's coming directly from the Prophet,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Interesting. No, I actually heard that one that they were
He forbid during his time so that it will not mix with the Quran. Okay, that's a good
okay. So
explanation.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, that
because
makes sense. It makes
that's
sense. It
actually
makes sense.
yeah, because and there were people who were like writing down the Quranic verses, right? And then they would write down the hadith together for themselves, right? So it's like, me writing the same thing, right? So imagine 1,000 years later, someone finds that. He's not going to know that that's where the Quran ends and where the hadith starts, right? He's going to be thinking the whole thing is the Quran, and you will end up being in the same problem that Christians have today. A very strange problem, right? So I think if I'm not mistaken, that is also one of the reasons why what was the Sahabat's name who burned the Quran? What was his name, Afi? The one who burned
Uthman.
Allah ilaha illallah. Yeah. So Uthman, that's the reason why I think he got rid of all the Qurans and kept only one, because there were people were mixing things in and everything and all that, and he saw that later on in the future this is going to be a problem for the Ummah, right? They are going to be arguing against one another, which is the right Quran and which one is this, which one is that. So and the most respectful way to do is to actually burn it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Write the revelations and mention to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah.
So the most reasonable way to dispose of the Quran in the most respectful way is to burn it, right? Because burying it,
it is.
There are dogs and things and all that. But
it's the most Shari'i way to destroy the Mus'haf.
Right, but people want to make it seem. I'm not saying anything, right? I'm not saying Christians, Jew, or anything. I'm just saying people in general, right? Want to make it seem like as in burning the Quran is such a silly thing, which.
Dav Zahid made an interesting point. Yeah, so he says, we don't want to repeat the mistakes that the Christians did by mixing the annotations in the scriptures. Yep, that's what the Christians did. Okay,
that's what the
Sahabat told them. Totally correct. So I don't know why Brother Aladdin wrote these names: Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Az-Zubayr al-Awwam, Amr bin Fahira, Ammar bin al-As, Ubay bin Ka'ab, Abdullah ibn al-Arqam. I think these were the writers of the Quran, right? The scribes, right?
Okay, these are the same people who also wrote down the hadith, isn't it?
Yeah, and the hadiths, I think so. Let me see. Tabit ibn Qais bin Shams, Hanzala bin Abu Rabi bin Al-Rabi Al-Asidi, Al-Mughira ibn Subah, Abdullah bin
Khalid bin Walid,
Khalid bin Sa'id bin Al-As. Okay. So let me see now. And it was said he was the first to write for them, and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan and Zaid ibn Thabit. Okay.
Zaid.
I think these are the people who wrote the hadiths. Yeah.
So they're the first. These are also the people who texted it down, wrote the Quran down, right? These are the same people. Right? So
I think some of them are, but some of them not.
But let me ask this question then, right?
I think maybe Brother Aladdin can clarify that. Yeah.
Let me ask this very simple question to a Quranist, right? If the same person is recording down the Quran and the same person is recording down...
Brother Aladdin is here. Maybe
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum.
I cannot talk much because I have to go back to shop. It's crowded in my place. I will just say something. I'll say something, inshallah. First of all, to the brother, Quran was never burned and will never be burned. There is a difference. You should know what is the difference between Quran and Mus'haf. Mus'haf is the materials that they use to write the Quran on, the papers and any other materials. We call this as Masahif. Quran is the eternal words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that been revealed to Prophet Muhammad, and it was written in those masahif. So what Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu did, he burned masahif, not Quran. He burned papers, materials. So let them burn it. We don't care about that. Because the words of Allah, Quran, is memorized in our hearts, in each and every Muslim's by heart. So they cannot burn it. That's in regard of this. So there is a difference between, unfortunately, so many Muslims made mistake and they said, Uthman burned the Quran. No. There is nothing called that.
Yes, I also made a mistake.
Not only you, so many. No, you don't need to apologize. Barakallah fi. We are learning from one another.
I should have used the word mushaf. Yeah,
mushaf. Yeah, we should use the word mushaf. Yeah.
Now, I mentioned the names. I wrote down the names. I will mention them again. Those are the people who wrote the revelation to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who've been writing the Holy Quran once Prophet Muhammad received it, and he told them to write it for him. They are, once again, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar ibn al-Khattab, Uthman bin Affan, Ali bin Abi Talib, Zubair bin al-Awwam, Amir bin Fayra, Amr ibn al-As, Ubay ibn Ka'ab, Abdullah bin al-Arqam, Thabit bin Qais bin Shammas, حنظلة بن ربيع الأسبدي والمغيرة بن شعبة عبد الله بن رواحة خالد بن وليد خالد بن سعيد بن العاص, and they said that he's the first one who wrote to Muawiyah ibn Sufyan or Zayd bin Thabit. They are the first who wrote to him. So that's according to Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah. Those are the names of the companion of Prophet Muhammad who wrote down the Quran. You asked me about the hadith. As far as I know, I told you that hadith was not combined in the time of Prophet Muhammad, because Prophet Muhammad didn't want them to mix it with the Holy Quran, because they might mix it and consider it as words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the Holy Quran. So therefore, during his time, it was not allowed by Prophet Muhammad for them to write. Barakallah fiqh. That's why I joined you. I have to go out. I just wanted to answer this for you.
One last question. The names that you mentioned, right? The names that you mentioned, were they also the people later on who wrote down the hadith? Are they the same people?
No. As far as I know, I cannot memorize the name of those people who combined the hadith after that. And the hadith was combined for more than 1 month. For example, when you come, the finally was by Muslim, Bukhari, and they have what we call chain of narration. We have also what we call علم الجرح والتعديل. علم الرجال, علم الجرح والتعديل. Before they collect or combine any hadith, what we call علم الجرح والتعديل, where you can find in those books the name and profile of each and every narrators. So if they will know that this hadith is hadith authenticate or not authenticate or ضعيف or موضوع or إسرائيليات or so they go to علم الرجال to study the profile of each and every narrator before they decide that this hadith is sahih or not. You know what I'm saying? So before combining hadith, they have what we call علم الجرح والتعديل, and they study it in universities. It's not a simple ilm. علم الرجال, to study about the narrators and the chain of narration for each and every. So imagine how long it will take them to know if this only one hadith is hadith sahih or not, by studying the profile of each and every narrators of this hadith, and to make sure that this hadith was indeed attributed to Prophet Muhammad through those companions or not. What we call mudallis, or a liar, or a person who forget. You know, sometimes persons, they have poor memory. Sometimes people, they are well known of lying. Sometimes people, they are, like mudallisin. They're lying. They're making stories that was not attributed, like Israeliyah. So they have to study all those things just in one hadith to make sure that this hadith is attributed to Prophet Muhammad or not. So I hope that this answers the question, Akhi. Forgive me. I have to step out. I do apologize, Akhi. Barakallah.
No, don't apologize.
Inshallah, you can come in again next week, I hope, inshallah. Right? Yeah.
You're like a teacher, Akhi, over here. We know nothing. We need you, okay. MashaAllah, barakallah, okay. May Allah bless you, okay. May Allah elevate you and give you Jannah. Okay,
Yes. Wa yakum. Yes. Oh, that was good.
So we are, there's a difference, right? When you are a da'i, you're apologetics, right? And you being a muhaddith, you being a person who is a hafiz, right? So that's a difference. The imam will probably not be able to do da'wah the way like Hamza sources or Adnan Rashid and these, right? But the imam would definitely know more knowledgeable things in Islam that we can learn from, like Brother Aladdin, right? And we always need to go back to that, right? We that's the thing in Islam. Even though we want to be da'is, right? And of course, Allah asks us to be the da'is, right? To be da'is, right? Not so that we can gain His mercy, of course. We can't just simply go out there and start talking, ignorantly. It's not Christianity, it's not Judaism, it's Islam. right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. We have our own sciences, like I said in
yeah. So
in
if you
the
don't know something, first
description as
go to
well.
an imam, check it out, have a conversation with them, such people like Brother Aladdin and on,
Yes,
have a discussion, gain your ilm, and then you go out, because Allah also says in the Quran, barakallahu fik, akhi, wa iyyakum.
yes, yeah,
Because Allah also says in the Quran, if you do not have the knowledge, don't talk. Right? Don't start a conversation on something that you don't have a knowledge on. Right? So
exactly,
get the knowledge
exactly.
first. Because there are so many da'is today who are, well, self-proclaimed da'is, I would say, right? Who want
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. What happened? What happened?
Something, I don't know. Something happened.
No, I was just adjusting my volume.
Oh, now you're good. Right. So,
Okay.
yeah. Where was I? Yeah, there are so many people who self-proclaim themselves as da'is, right? And it's so sad. It's so sad to see that they want to bring people. I mean, alhamdulillah, they've got the niyat that to bring people to Islam.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. But the method, in the way they do it, is wrong. Okay,
Yes.
they want to
Yes.
bring people to Islam is right, but the method that they do it is wrong. So they bring someone to Islam. Okay, they are friends with these guys, and I've witnessed this. Wallahi, I've witnessed this. They become friends with this person, right? And this person trusts them. This non-Muslim really trusts them. Okay, and so they take the shahada, right? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
The minute they take the shahada, this guy is away. He's out. He's done. I've done my job. I don't have to be friends with him anymore. I don't have to be friends with him anymore. Khalas, finish. Right?
Which is totally wrong.
Coming from I don't even have to say coming from a non-Muslim perspective. What would you feel if your friend was a deceiver? The friendship that you had towards someone is just a deceive based on something else. And once the guy gets it, he goes away.
Just leaves. Yeah.
And the very next minute, the very next week, I see this guy in church, and I ask him. I'm not going to mention names here, right? And I ask him, like, "Hey, didn't you take the shahada the other day?" Because I was in the restaurant, right? And the restaurants were next to the church, right? So I was like sitting down at this Malay restaurant, and I was having my meal, and I saw this guy coming out from the church. So I quickly ran to him and said, like, "What were you doing here?" And it's like, "Oh, I went to church to pray." Like, "But you took the shahada." You say, yeah, I did. But that guy, he was trying to sell me something. I said, what? Islam. He was trying to sell me Islam. Once I took the shahada, he went missing away. Is this what Islam is? I was like, MashaAllah, Astaghfirullah. No. This is not what Islam is.
To do.
So
that happens. Yeah, the KPI is this some of these so-called Muslims is how many shahadas they can get in a month. You see, and that is wrong. Okay, that is wrong because we should never measure our success in da'wah based on shahadas. Okay.
Shahada is not up to us. Shahada is not up to us, it's up to Allah.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The very fact that the person who took care of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, brought him up, right?
Yeah.
Could not take the shahada. Don't you think that if it was up to us to be able to make someone take the shahada, that his uncle would be the first person that he would want to take the shahada?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, definitely. Yes, Abu Talib would have been a Muslim by now, right?
No, we are just supposed to share the message of Allah, what Allah has given to us from the Quran and from the Hadith, what the Prophet has given to us, the truth, al-haq, because we are upon the haq, right? We just share that. And that's it. Khalas, we just share that and we continue being friends with them, right? And we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right?
Yes,
but the shahada comes from Allah.
Yes, that's right. That is why I've never claimed to be, even my channel says it. I'm not the Muslim da'i. I'm the Muslim apologist. So my role is to basically to support the da'is and to defend Islam from anti-Islam attacks. That's it. Whether someone accepts the Shahada or someone wants to research Islam further and wants to convert to Islam or revert to Islam later on, that's not up to me, and that's not my job. My job is just simply to send a message to defend Islam from the attacks, to reinforce the iman of Muslims, and to answer or clarify any doubts that non-Muslims have about Islam. But whether they go to the next step and decide to take their shahada or not, that's not up to me. And I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to
not
be
up to us at
responsible for
all.
that
See, that's not up to
because
us
it's a
at all.
very heavy responsibility for me. I mean, I think people like you, Brother Smith, I think you are much more capable than me to handle shahada, but not me. I'm not capable. I know I'm not worthy of it. So that is why I call myself the Muslim apologist, not the Muslim da'i. Okay. So I just want to clarify this for the viewers. Anyway, there's 8 people right now. Wow, there's 8 people right now.
Alhamdulillah.
Wow,
Alhamdulillah.
there's actually 8 people.
I always like, I'm just gonna, I always love when it comes to, Islamic talk, right? We are talking knowledge sharing in Islam, right? MashaAllah, I love this, I love, and I could talk for days on in. I will not get bored of this. Alhamdulillah, I never get bored.
I wish our brother Aladdin could have stayed longer because it would have been questioning.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean,
I think.
let's not keep our brother Aladdin. He's got his thing probably.
Yes,
He's got his wife beside him, saying things like,
yes.
his wife is beside him or something. I don't know, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he has responsibilities. You see, not
Yeah,
not
so he's got things
unlike
to do.
our,
Mashallah.
unlike the Christians, the hateful Christians, the likes of David Wood, Sam Shamoon, Christian Prince. These people, they have no life. You see, they have no life outside of their internet world or their YouTube world. Okay, all they can do is just badmouth Islam, lie about Islam, and then they make money off it, and then they survive based on that monies. Okay. Oh, by the way, do you know that David Wood has suddenly returned to YouTube again? He said that he was
After
not
his
going to
what?
come back to YouTube. He has come back to YouTube again. He has come under
Oh,
a
is it?
different
I
name.
don't know. I don't follow David Wood, man.
I don't either, but suddenly, when I was browsing through YouTube, suddenly I saw this channel called Apologetics something. And then when I clicked on it, I realized that it was actually David Wood's channel. So he's back. I think it's called Apologetics Roadshow or something like that. He's back. Yeah, the bugger is back. Okay. So he lied about wanting to stay away from
Yeah, but I
YouTube.
don't know about him, bro.
Because in his last video, he said that he was going to stay away from YouTube forever and he wants to create his own platform. But you see, several months later, the guy couldn't even keep his word, and he's back
Yeah.
now, a different name. So you can see how this kind of people, they say one thing to your face, and then they do a different thing altogether. So yeah, the guy is a liar. Okay, he's a proven liar. Okay, he's a proven pathological liar. Okay, because he does one
Oh.
thing and he does a different thing. Okay, you see.
You're calling David? You're telling me David Wood is a liar?
I'm saying that David Wood is a liar. Yes. That's
Yeah.
right.
What's new, bro?
I just want to clarify it to the viewers who are watching this, right? I mean, we both know this, right?
Yeah,
We already know
That's
this,
not...
but the viewers may not know this, so I'm just calling out. I'm calling out the BS, right? So Dav Zaim is asking, didn't Hatun from Speaker's Corner took over David Wood's channel? Yeah, she did. She did. David Wood handed it over to her. But David Wood now has about 3 channels. Okay, he has 3 channels which he doesn't. I don't know whether he owns them, but I saw that those channels are run by him. I mean, basically the videos are all about him. He's the main primary speaker, so it has to be his. Okay, because the guy is too egoistic to actually go on other people's channel. Oh wait, speaking about that, he's also on Apostate Prophet's channel. He's always on the live streams with that guy.
Wait, isn't Muslim? Isn't that guy an atheist?
That's the thing. I was just going to say. Sometimes I think that David Wood is an atheist pretending to be a Christian, and I think Apostate Prophet is a Christian pretending to be an atheist because both of them behave very weirdly. Okay? And both of them, because you see, when I had this debate with Apostate Prophet and when I was questioning certain things about Christianity, this guy called Apostate Prophet, he actually defended Christianity. Okay, which is quite strange because you know that atheists usually they don't defend.
He always defends Christianity.
They won't defend religions. Is their how would I say their raison d'etre, right? Because they hate all religions equally, so they're not going to defend another religion. But this guy, Apostate Prophet, even though he claims to be an atheist, he defends Christianity to the death. You see, So that is why I'm saying here right now, publicly to everyone, to my 6 viewers right now, and perhaps those who will be watching this, that I personally believe that David Wood is an atheist pretending to be a Christian, and that apostate prophet, okay, is a Christian pretending to be an atheist. You can correct me on that. You can prove me wrong. I challenge you to prove me wrong, okay? Because I don't think the evidence will be for you, okay? It will be for me, all right? So yeah, so I'm just saying. Anyway, Aki, we have already reached the 3 hour mark, mashallah, okay?
Yeah,
So I don't
alhamdulillah.
know,
I don't know about
yeah,
I don't
maybe
know
I
about
don't,
that, Afi,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what I do know for sure is
Yeah,
that all these guys, this David Wood, Sam Shimon, Apostle Prophet, and so on, they're making a lot of money from Islam, and without
yes,
Islam, they are nothing.
exactly.
Yeah,
So Daf
if
Zaim
it's
just
not for
commented, he said,
Islam, these people will be poor people, man.
yeah,
They
these
will
people
probably
will be
not even
nothing.
have money to feed themselves.
Exactly. They make money off their hate of Islam, their hatred of Islam, and those people who hate Islam donate money to them. You see, so that's the thing. Without
Yeah,
Islam, they are nothing. You see, they are nothing. That is why David Wood, after several months of saying that he's leaving YouTube, has come back to YouTube. Okay, that's the reason why. Okay, so
obviously. That's
so
like
Dav
a
Zaim, yeah, so Dav Zaim here is saying AP acted like he has a objective moral anchor like a Christian, whereas David Wood acts like a liberal and just throws his Bible under the bus. Yep, I
he
agree
does that, yeah.
100%. One thousand
That's
percent agree with you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And then there's another comment
subhanallah.
here from Dav Zaim as well. AP used the Bible to prove Islam wrong. So not that weird of a conclusion. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know the argument that he makes about Muslims not knowing the divine name of God and that the real true name of God is Yahweh. That is a Christian evangelical argument. So I don't understand why an atheist like AP will use that argument against Islam. So I actually cornered him on that. I officially or I openly proclaim Yahweh to be a pagan god. Okay, and I actually have the book for that. Okay, I'm going to just show you the book briefly. Okay. Wait, let me see. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, I have a book here. Yeah, this is the book. This is the book that documents Yahweh as a pagan god. Okay, the origins of Yahwism. Okay. I mean, it's a very thick
Who's
book.
the
You have to,
author? Who's
the
the author?
author is Jurgen van Ost, Marcus Witt. They are both editors. It's actually a compilation of authors. It's edited by
Jagan what? Jagan what? Jagan what?
Jurgen van Oscott and Marcus Witter. So I think they are Germans. Yeah, it's a compilation of several authors. So among them is Mark S. Smith. He's an authority on this character Yahweh. And then there's this guy called Henrik Pfeiffer. There's George Jeremias, Martin Leuenberger, Reinhard Müller. Most of them are Germans. Ronald Handel, and so many other names. And some of the names I myself don't even know. But this is the book, Origins of Yahwism. I got it for. It's a very expensive book. You can't get this you can't get this easily, and the price was, I think it was 100 USD. Yeah, I got this for 100 USD. Okay, it's not cheap. Okay, but I
You
bought it
just order
anyway
it online.
because I was focusing on the issue of Yahweh for about a year, about 2 years before I
Mm.
came out with my own conclusions and my own facts and figures regarding this unknown character called Yahweh. Okay. So basically, what we can surmise is that Yahweh is the name of a pagan idol. Okay, it's not the name of the divine name of God, and nobody knows how YHWH is pronounced. That's also another thing.
Yeah, that's
But one
correct. It's just an
yeah, but
acronym.
one thing is certain is that the Jews don't even pronounce YHWH as Yahweh. Okay, and Jesus himself never even mentioned the name Yahweh in the New Testament. Nothing of the sort. We don't have this, and the Christians are making it up, and they are saying that the true divine name of God is Yahweh,
Mm.
and AP, a so-called atheist claiming to be an atheist who so-called apostated from Islam, is repeating the same claim of the Christians. So that is why I'm saying that AP is a Christian pretending to be an atheist. Okay? Yeah. So
Okay.
this is my contention. Okay, he has to prove otherwise, right? So anyway, yeah. I think Aki has already been 3 hours. I think we have to end the show. It's already too long. I need to do something else. Okay, very sorry that I can't
Yeah,
continue
yeah,
this.
cool, it's cool, it's cool. Yeah, no problem.
So I also don't want to take your time because I know you just came back from from here, and I'm sure you have something else to do as well. I don't want to take your time as well. So anyway,
Now I got nothing else to do, bro. That's why.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but unfortunately, I have to do something else. Okay, because I have the studio. By the way, this studio. If those who haven't seen it, this is my studio. And once this place is ready, I will do a video tour of it. Inshallah, I'll upload it on the channel or something like that. But right now, it's not finished yet, so I can't do that now. But anyways, thank you very much. 6 viewers right now watching this live stream. I hope that next week you will join me again. Okay. Inshallah, I'll see you again in a future
So
live stream.
just say something.
Right, inshallah, I'll see you in a future live stream. And yeah, I mean, I hope that you will join in. I hope you 6 viewers won't just keep quiet because I do
Yeah.
want to hear more questions, more discussions, more maybe even a minor debate. I don't know. As long as you are civil and polite, you'll be allowed on the stream, right? So
Yeah,
anyway, thank
yeah.
you very much, Brother Smith. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate you coming here. I
Alhamdulillah.
hope that everything that you do on the channel.
I hope that your channel will grow again. You keep on doing this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyway, I hope that your viewers will also join in all the akhi, all the what
Of course.
for the
By the way, just
debates
now
with.
I saw Brother Farid response. You know Farid
Yeah,
response?
yeah, he was around. Yeah,
He
yeah.
was actually
Alhamdulillah,
on the stream. I'm very honored to have him. I really hope that he would join, but he said
Alhamdulillah.
he
Yeah,
planned.
mashallah.
So yeah, I hope
Yes,
that
join
next
in
week
the
he will.
debate that we'll be having with the atheists. That I'll be
Yeah,
having with the atheists.
yeah,
And for those who, well, I don't know, for the brothers, maybe asking the question, why is Hasmi debating? You know, who's this Mitchell? Like, what's his authority? Who's this guy? Right.
yeah.
So I do have certain degrees and certain PhDs. I'm not going to mention, but I do have it, right?
Okay,
So I'm not speaking out. I'm not speaking out of ignorance. I do
yes,
know a little bit, right? But there's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more to learn,
of
and
course.
I'm always, alhamdulillah, Allah's guiding me to learn more. Yeah,
Of course,
alhamdulillah.
inshallah. I hope
My
one more
channel
time.
is Kum Academy once again. So there's not much videos over there, but there are some videos over there. And we are an academy. You can check us out. What we do is that we actually train brothers and sisters to
Yes,
defend Islam and defend their own faith and their own iman against the attack of atheism,
yes,
modernism, liberalism, and all the isms that you can think of, right?
yes, of
Because
course.
atheism is a dangerous thing. It's creeping down very slow. You can
Yeah,
see it everywhere. It's in Netflix, right? It's on YouTube channels and all that. And
yes,
without having knowledge to protect us, it's very dangerous. So, I applaud that all the brothers and sisters, you don't have to come to my academy. You don't have to, you can at the very least go and search for some education on this so that you can protect yourself from
exactly.
the attacks of atheists and protect the people that you love from the attacks of atheists,
Yes,
inshallah.
that's right. That's right. Inshallah, inshallah. Yes. So anyway, Aki, we have to end this. Oh, I hope
So,
inshallah, I'll see you again. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Before I go, I'm gonna grab my cat. Yeah, this is my cat.
mashallah, alhamdulillah. He looks
Yeah,
very
his name is
healthy,
Iman.
man.
Yeah, his name is Iman. Yeah, say hello, Iman.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, okay. I know Iman. I know you love me, Iman.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. He loves me.
he does. Of course, he does.
It's so manja, right?
Subhanallah.
Yeah, yeah. This is my cat. His name is Iman. Okay. I actually promised to show this on Ramzi's show, but I never did because he always goes
Oh,
missing,
you have
right?
to now. Make sure you
Yeah,
do.
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much, Aki, for joining the show. Inshallah, I'll
Jazakallah
see
khair.
everyone again. If you like this live stream, please share it to everyone. If you like my channel, please do subscribe because I've noticed that there are a lot of people who watch my channel but they don't subscribe. I don't know why. Maybe you hate my face. Please do subscribe and hope that inshallah I'll see you again in the future. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.